day. You hit me with a call to your place. Ain't been out in a while anyway. Was hoping I could catch you throwing smiles in my face. Romantic talking, you don't even have to try.
All right, what's good, everybody? Happy Monday. How y'all doing? And I guess welcome back to another new stream, a new week. And today we've got new spoilers. So the first thing we're going to actually want to do here is take a look at all the cool stuff coming out of Modern Horizons 2 that we now know about. So I have actually not checked out the spoilers yet, but I've seen all over Twitter that something to do with squirrels is a thing today. So that should be pretty exciting to look at. But also, today's the last day of the Arena Draft Challenge, which I also want to play because honestly, I just like draft. Like, I think it's a really fun format. Strixhaven Limited is insanely fun, and I know this is like the 5th time I've said this on this channel, but if you have not played any Strixhaven Limited and like Limited even a little bit, I highly recommend the experience. It's a really fun set. So I'm actually pretty excited to jump right into these spoilers and see what's going down. For everybody who is checking stuff out, oh, also, important. So I don't know who the pilot was, but I did hear that one of the modern challenges was won by a Blue-White Spirits pilot. So congratulations to whoever the player was as well. So big, giant congrats to them. And hopefully Spirits players can keep kicking ass in these larger events. As for myself, I did play in the Pioneer events yesterday, which ended up giving me like a little bit sad times. I think I dropped at like 2 and 3 or some bullshit like that. I did 4-0 a prelim, but that's not the same at all. But yeah, so to take the Blue-White Spirits deck and then, you know, finish first place in a modern challenge, that was pretty awesome. So let's check these spoilers right out here. Whoa, there's a lot. Excuse me. Fractured Sanity. Each opponent mills 14 cards. You cycle for 2, and when you cycle, they mill 4 cards. That's not bad. And it's each. It doesn't target either. So this can take the place of those Glimpse the Unthinkables that the mill players were playing before. So what they did was they played Glimpse the Unthinkable as like a 2 of, and then Maddening Cacophony as the other spots, so that you would have some ways to still mill your opponents that have nothing to do with Atlanta Sanctity or anything else that stopped you from targeting them. This does not target, so that seems dope. And then cycling, very nice. So yeah, I'm sure somebody will absolutely love this, even if it costs 1 more than Glimpse to play. This card just seems like gas. Like, getting to, like, oh, I actually kind of like this sketch art. That's sweet. Alright, cool. Chatterfang Squirrel General. Alright, so 3 mana, 3/3, Forest Walk. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 green squirrels are created instead. And you pay black, sacrifice some squirrels to give target creature +/- toughness. Sure, why not? Whatever, okay. It seems like a very cool EDH thing. I honestly cannot see this really seeing play in Modern ever, but for EDH, I'm sure this thing will find a home very quickly. Squirrel Mob, that's already a card. Yeah, so this is a reprint. So yeah, you just get +1s for every other squirrel on the battlefield. Squirrel Sovereign. Oh, it's just a Squirrel Lord. Okay, sure. Makes sense. It's cute. Ravenous Squirrel. A black or a green. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact or a creature, you put a +1 counter on this thing. You sacrifice an artifact or a creature, you get a life and you draw a card. Wait a minute. Target artifact creature. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, does this thing combo with Ravager? But no. This thing, you just get to do the counter things, and that's pretty cool. But the modular specifically says artifact creature, not creature. Okay, so it's not as crazy as I was thinking, but this card might actually see a little play as, like, I don't know, maybe a 2 of in the Hardened Scales deck anyway. because like it's just whenever you sacrifice something, you get a counter on this thing. So like you just get to double up on your counters. You get to do your crazy Ozolift things, and in a pinch, paying 3 to draw a card is probably not even that bad. Also, it's only 1 CMC, so like you can still play Luris with this. I would not be surprised if somebody playing Hardened Scales tried to find room for this. I don't know that it's great because, like, it's not a sacrifice outlet on its own, but you get to just effectively double up your counters whenever you do any of the cool things. So, yeah, I would say, I don't know, probably be on the lookout for this to see play. This does not seem bad. Squirrel Sanctuary. Whenever this thing enters the battlefield, you get a squirrel. Whenever a non-token you control dies, you pay 1, you can put this in your hand. Sure. Another one that I don't really know how much potential I think this thing has, but I'm sure it will end up, I don't know, being a thing in some rather casual environment. So let's check that out. Fairy Seer, that's a reprint. Yeah, I don't know why they made this Boomer border, probably because of Pauper, but then they made it an uncommon, so I don't know. I got nothing. Prismatic Ending. So what's this do? Exile target non-land permanent if its mana value is less than or equal to the number of colors of mana spent to cast this spell. Wait a minute. Oh, shit. Oh my god. What? It's a sorcery, but I don't know that I give a shit. This card's great. So, if you spend just white on it, then it's basically Isolate. If you spend blue-white on it, then you can get rid of Sprite Dragon. If you add in a third color, then you can get rid of any 3 drops or below. But by that point in time, this card starts to lose its value, which is fine because the problems in Modern almost all cost 1 and 2 anyway. I think this card is crazy good, to be honest. Because, like, this thing is basically, like, Isolate plus, even if it's a sorcery. And that might be good enough for us, you know? I am actually really excited about this card. Wow, this might actually be better than the Portable Hole I was already gushing about. And all of the control players, too, will get to, like, use Snapcaster on this, too. Wow. Yeah, this thing is hype. I love almost everything about this. The only real downside is that when you do, say you're playing Spirits, and you do want to actively get rid of something that costs 2 CMC, like, I don't know, a Baral, a Goblin Electromancer, a Sprite Dragon, a Tarmogoyf, a Scourge of the Skyclaves, you'll have to pay 2 mana with this instead of the 1 mana that you could get away with paying for a Portable Hole to get rid of all of those things. But there is no chance of them being able to, like, Abrupt Decay or Prismari Command or whatever to kill an artifact and get their thing back when you have this Prismatic Ending. So I think I'm actually here for this. I think this card's okay. I will probably try to play this just as a, you know, as another spell to get rid of all of the low CMC things. Could this make Blue-White Stoneblade better than Blue-White Control now that you can clear it away for your Batter Skull? I'm gonna give a half answer for that one. I think Blue-White Stoneblade is probably not going to be very good for the foreseeable future. Because, like, nothing to do with the equipments. Although, Through the Breach playing Prismari Command is not good for the Stoneforge decks either. I think Blue-White Stoneblade is just going to be unplayable for a pretty long time because of how good the removal is for these, like, the next couple of sets that we see. Like, this Prismatic Ending can just get rid of a Germ token for 1 mana. Prismari Command is seeing more and more play. Culligan's Command is kind of making a bit of a comeback as well. And then the fact that the new removal spell coming out of Forgotten Realms, what is it called? It is Portable Hole. I think that card is also going to cause some residual damage to Stoneforge Mystic, because Portable Hole is an artifact, so people will be playing more cards that can get rid of artifacts in their main. I think to some degree that want to protect their own 1 and 2 CMC spells. For example, decks like Jund Death Shadow will probably be playing Witherbloom Command because it can, like, you know, drain and gain, but also get rid of a Portable Hole. Prismari Command and Culligan's Command can both get rid of artifacts at instant speed, and honestly, none of those things really bode too well for Batterskull. So I don't think Blue-White Stoneblade is going to be better than Blue-White Control for honestly a pretty long time, which is a little bit sad times because I like Stoneblade decks. If you wanted to play something with Stoneforge Mystic in it, I think my best suggestion will probably be like just to play Bant, because Bant has tools other than Stoneforge Mystic, where if you're playing Stoneforge Mystic in the blue-white shell, honestly, your other win cons all suck. Like, attacking with Spell Queller by itself, not great. All of the other stuff that you get out of blue-white Stoneforge Mystic decks, even Shark Typhoon, are all kind of medium, because Fatal Push is probably at like an all-time high right now. So I just don't really like Stoneforge Mystic right now. Like, people are already trying their best to deal with low-to-the-ground creatures thanks to Prowess being the best deck in the format, and just asking for, like, a 1-2 to survive, that's really asking a lot of Modern right now. Yeah, so that's going to be my 2 cents. I think Stoneblade is going to remain worse than Blue-White Control for a pretty long time, but I also think that Blue-White Control is just straight up worse than Esper Control, because Esper gets to play so many great spells, where Blue-White gets to play Field of Ruin. That's a huge bonus, but that's the only real bonus you get from playing Blue-White over Esper. Even the 3-color mana base is still pretty easy for Esper to manage. Also, Esper can make better use of this, because it gets to play a 3rd color. So, like, you can actually just get rid of, I don't know, like an opponent's Narset or a Teferi Time Raveler or something if you really need to with this Prismatic Ending. I don't think this card will see play in any of the control decks, because the control decks all have better removal than this, but I think this is great for low-to-the-ground decks. So, like, White-Red Prowess will absolutely play this thing in the sideboard. Blue-White Spirits will love this thing in the sideboard. I'm sure a couple of other decks that I'm not thinking of at the moment will love this thing. I kind of wish a couple more tools did come out for Stoneblade, but obviously we'll see. What do we got? We got a Boomer Heliod's Hall of Heliod's Generosity, and a Boomer Universal Automaton. Okay, sure. And these are cards we saw last week, which are still pretty nuts. I cannot believe this Grief card is real. So yeah, honestly, fewer spoilers than I was led to believe were coming out, but still pretty cool overall. I'm still pretty happy about what we are seeing out of this, and I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who really, really care about the squirrel theme, who will be really happy to see 5 new squirrels come out for, I don't know, like their squirrel EDH deck or whatever, especially if they want to like play this guy as their hey, what's up, Retrorami? Yeah, and that's actually what we just got done going over, was all of these new squirrel cards. So, like, if somebody's playing EDH and they like squirrels, they got, like, a new squirrel general and a bunch of cards to go with it. So, I'm sure somebody will be very, very happy about this. So, I'm going to kind of keep my eye out today, too, just to see if there are any more spoilers from Modern Horizons 2 over the course of the day. But another thing I really wanted to do was to check out the draft open thing that's happening here, because I just already like draft anyway. Like, draft is super fun. So I'm actually just sliding over to MTG Salvation as well, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. And looks like we got them all so far. Yeah. So yeah, lots of spoilers coming out. What is this, like 10 new cards? Or, I'm sorry, 10 new cards between the reprints and the cards that are actually new. So that's pretty sweet. And now that we got to check out the spoilers here, what I'm going to do is open up Arena because I really wanted to play this draft challenge that's out today. I feel like this is going to be just a lot of fun. As I've said many times here, I really like Strixhaven Limited. And I'm kind of hoping that our pool is good because the prizes for this event are actually pretty sweet. So you get to... What's this? What is new for the store? Anything that I want and don't have? Nope, bunch of sleeves. Don't care. Strixhaven Draft Challenge. So yeah, so for this thing, right, if you get all 6 wins before you get 2 losses, you get 4 additional draft tokens and 20 packs. Even if you get 2 wins, you get 2 additional draft tokens and 6 packs. And all of this is for basically double the price of a regular draft. So I am definitely here for this. This is really, really hyped. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Hopefully our pool is good and we open something nice. So we're going to spend 3,000 gems on this. Another Mono Blue Spirits 5-0 to League and Pioneer today. Nice, nice. Well, I'm ready. So that's pretty hype. So let's go ahead and check that out too. So Vanishing Verse, that's really good. I don't think there's any reason for me to choose anything else out of here. No, I'm taking this. Vanishing Verse is crazy good removal. What do we got here? Fervent Masteries. I don't want that. I could take this Rise of Exodus. It actually is pretty good. It's slow, but it's good. Inkling Summoning is also really good. I'm going to take the Rise of Exodus. We really want all the learn cards. And here I want... This card's actually not bad. But I don't want to play like 3 colors if I don't have to. So I think here I'm actually just going to take the Spirit Summoning and give myself the best in for our learn cards to potentially be really good. Oh, let's keep that popped out. Black-White seems good in Limited. It is, it is. I do like all of the cool cards that come out of the Silver Quill, I guess, tribe here. I don't really want Access Tunnel, I think. I'm just going to take the Pest Summoning because Eager First Year, in Black-White, you have access to way, way better 2-drops. I could also just take this Heated Debate in case, like, many more red cards come to me. Actually, I think that's better. I'm going to take this. Oh, man, we could build Cody. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh god. Are we gonna do Cody or are we gonna just take the land that gives me 3rd color? Oh shit. I've actually not built a Cody deck yet. Oh my god. No, I'm gonna take the land. Oh yeah, yeah. We did get to see the triple blue card. It looked really sweet actually. It's like mill 14, but you also get to cycle it in mill, which seemed pretty sweet. Like, yeah, because it's triple blue mill 14, or you cycle, but when you cycle, you make them mill 4, which is still really good. So I know mill players will definitely be very excited about that. Lol. They've been giving Mill some cards lately, yeah, for sure. Like giving Mill the 2nd crab was really good. Giving them let's see, the 2nd crab is good. The Mill 8 or whatever it is, Maddening Cacophony is pretty sweet. Don't want that. This is a okay 2-drop, but that's probably better than a 2nd copy of Environmental Sciences. And I don't really want Defend the Campus. Like, that card's okay. I think I'd rather just, like, have a 2-drop here. What are you? Oh, right. Yep. Hi, good luck. Thank you, thank you. Draft question. If they print a new Spirit Lord with converted mana cost 2, do you think it's an auto-inclusion? I won't go quite so far as to say auto-inclusion, but I will definitely keep my eyes on like a Spirit 2-drop Lord if they print one. It is very, very possible that if we have like another, say for example they print, I don't know, like a blue-white Spirit that gives other spirits +1/+1 and has flying. Like in Pioneer, you snap slam that because it's just miles better than oh, what's that card called? Empyrean Eagle. Because like you just get to cost 2 instead of 3, and that's like a really big deal, right? So I don't want any of these, to be honest. So I guess I'll take the cool one. Same thing here. I'm definitely never gonna play that, but how is this last pick? Whatever. Oh, man. Shit. I don't think I can... Okay, I think we're going full greedy draft here. Yeah, I think we have to go full greed draft here. Like, Magma Opus is actually absurd, and I am definitely willing to splash a couple of sources to play this card. Oh, my Lanta, this is going to be one of the greediest decks I've ever played. Like, we already have 2 Rainbow Land sources here. We have Environmental Sciences, so I can stick, like, 1 mountain and 1 island in this deck. That's meh. Eliminate's pretty good. I will take the Eliminate and be pretty happy about it. If Watcher was a spirit, would it be playable in Modern Spirits? I would probably say yes. I would... Oh, hi, yes, hello. Don't mind if I do. Yeah, I would play Watcher if it was an actual spirit in Modern Spirits. Because, like, casting Spell Queller for 2 is really big game. Especially when you get to do those things off of a, like, an Aether Vial. You get to flash Rattle Chains in for 1 to protect your cool stuff, which is also really big. And just, like, Combat Professor? Ooh, hi. Rainbow Lands are good. Combat Professor is borderline busted. This card's sick. Necrotic Fumes is pretty good. Pillar Drop Rescuer is fine. Hunt for Specimens is actually insane. Yeah. Alright, sick. Yeah, so just like you get a pest and you get to learn, and we'll be taking the Spirit Summoning at least out of our sideboard. And I'm sure we'll find other lessons as we get to go along here. But so far, I'm not complaining. So, I don't know if I want this more than a second copy of Rise of Exodus. I might. Like, we are playing 100 colors in our deck. Campus Guide is actually really good, too, because, like, it's a 2-drop and you get to look for a land to put on top. And we're trying to play a bunch of colors. So, I think I actually want to take... yeah, I'll take the land. I don't think it's great, but... Oh, hi! Yeah. Another card that's definitely not bad in late games here. Yeah. We take those. Reduced to Memory is fine. I think the 5-color land is a little better than this 2-drop for us. Yeah. How many tap lands do I have? I have a lot of tap lands. I still think this is fine. I don't want this. I do want the Silver Quill Campus, though. Actually, I can play this. Because I've got 3 rainbow sources here. I think that's a little too greedy. Instead, I'll just take the black-white land and be happy about it. Same thing goes here. I think I would rather have this. Oh, hi. Why are you still here? Although Guiding Voice is really good, Rise of Exodus is just, like, pretty good. I don't want this. It's not bad, but I don't want it. I don't think I want this. Let's take the lesson. And I don't want either of these. I don't want that. Biblioplex? No, thank you. Fracture's not bad. Creative Outburst is also not what we want here. Spectre Defense is pretty decent. Elemental Summoning is also pretty good. So I guess I'm going to take... Actually, no. What am I talking about? Whoops. I almost missed out on this Combat Professor being here. So yeah, I'm taking the Combat Professor over either of those two. I do kind of hope to see a couple more like lessons that make creatures, but so far so good. Rip Apart. Hell yeah, let's go. Rip Apart is definitely better than Heated Debate. Like, Rip Apart is so good. I do not want Lumomancer. Silverquill Campus. Let's look for something a little better if I can. Enthusiastic Study is not bad. So you get like a combat trick and you get your learning off. I think here I should actually take this campus guide though. We do need a couple more 2-drops, and I want to be able to look for lands to put to fix my colors. So that card does fit both of those spots here. I don't want that. Here I want Pest Summoning for sure. What's here? That card's not great for us. Professor's Warning. Scroll. Thrilling Discovery is not really a card we want. You don't do anything for our deck specifically. I don't think I will end up wanting to play Professor's Warning, but I think it's the best card for us here. I don't really want to try to play Grinning Ingus. Spirit Summoning is not bad. Leech Fanatic is fine. I will take the Spirit Summoning. That's a little better. What's here? Hall Monitor is bad. I don't want this. We don't really have ways to put +1 counters on anything, so this card doesn't do anything for us. I think I'm just going to take this. So we have a lot of ways to be able to make blue, so these are actually pretty playable. I can take the Introduction to Annihilation, which is not bad. Duress is actively kind of good, though. I think I actually want the Duress more. Fracture? Or, ooh, why are you still here? Well, that's... Fracture is very, very good. But we actually do need ways to be able to, like, guarantee that our spells can get rid of people. And I think that's going to be the best way to do it. Like, Necrotic Fumes is pretty good. That's it. It's pretty good. And I've got ways to make pests and stuff, so getting rid of their things with our pests that we otherwise don't really care about is pretty sweet for us. Do I want Expanded Anatomy over another Letter of Acceptance? I think the answer is actually probably not. Here, I don't actually want any of these cards, so I don't know. I'll just take the Reject and put it over here, I guess. Thrill of Possibility. Into the sideboard you go. I don't want either of these cards, so I guess I will just take this and put it over here. I might actually play the Biblioplex Assistant, though, because, like, Magma Opus is so good that getting to use it twice is still just, like, an actual play. I feel so lost when it comes to draft. Yeah, draft is pretty involved. Like, I mean, I will not say that it's an easy format by any means. You do, I don't know, there's a lot that goes into it. Like, you need to be able to evaluate cards to see how good cards are. You need to see whether a card actually fits the style of your deck, and then you need to, like, make a coherent deck by the time you're all said and done doing everything. So here, what we've done is we've essentially built a Mardu draft deck here that will give us the ability to also have a very, very light blue splash for these Elemental Masterpiece and this Magma Opus. And to that end, we've got like a lot of good removal because we're effectively playing like a control deck. So we're going to play cards like Duress, Eliminate. We're going to get rid of these basics because I don't want them. I want a life link, things that gain life. We want ways to draw additional cards. I don't want this, but I do want this removal spell here. Vanishing Verse is going to be very good for us. Rise of Exodus. I want to play both of my blue bombs. I want Lorehold Excavation, Rip Apart, Lorehold Pledge Mage, Venerable Warsinger. I actually do want Campus Guide. And our spells and stuff are so good that I think this card is actually going to be worth our time. Because if I can just like use this to rebuy like Magma Opus, that seems really absurd for us. We want both of our mana rocks because not only are we playing a shit ton of colors, but we also want to get to our high mana drops faster too. Hey, good evening. How you doing? We got 2 combat professors, which are really, really good. What is this, standard spirits? I mean, if I had a couple more Lorehold cards, I would probably play some version of tribal spirits that is definitely not actual tribal spirits. But here we get to play with like 2 more spots here. So I've got this I want, and I've got 1 more card that I have room for. So here I could play the Professor's Warning to keep one of my things alive. Is that better than anything else here? So draw 3, I definitely do not want that. Professor's Warning is not bad because it gives one of my creatures indestructible. I can't play Spectacle Mage. So I think all things said and done, I actually do want to play one of Professor's Warning here. And then we get to figure out like our lands here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I can just play this in my main deck. That seems better. And we've got a lot of really good lands to help fix our colors too. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands that all make at least 2 of our colors. 3 Archway Commons plus 2 Letters of Acceptance, so that we will definitely have access to blue mana for this Masterpiece and for this Magma Opus. So this is actually going to end up being a really good look as far as making sure we can actually cast all of our cool cards. And we've got Venerable Warsinger and Biblioplex Assistant, so that we can use our cooler cards more than once here. And the fact that we have a bunch of good cards that learn, like these Rises of Exodus, we've got Hunt for Specimens, all of these things will make it so that we can fish more creatures out of our sideboard, like these Spirit Summonings, like this 4/4 Elemental token, the double tapped land. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, Archway Commons, honestly, not that great, but with the fact that we're actually not really trying to play too many things on turn 2, and the fact that we have 3.5 colors here, I think this makes this like relatively reasonable. I could like take 1 of these out, but honestly I don't even know that I really want to do that. So let's put some lands in here now. For lands that I want 2 mountains, I want an island. Yes, I want 1 island, 2 mountains. I want... How many plains? Is it just 4 plains and 4 swamps? Or is it 5 plains and 3 swamps? I think it's 5 plains and 3 swamps. It is 5 plains and 3 swamps, yeah. Alright. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 2 mountains with that much red. Well, think about it. There's actually not that much red in here. Because if you look at the number of mountains I'm playing, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sources of red. So I don't need that many basic mountains. However, all of my splashy cards here also have white in here. So like the Warsinger, the Pledge Mage, Lower Hold Excavation, Rip Apart, all of these things make it so that I will need white more than red a little early, which is also why I want to play more of these swamps, because I only ever need to see 1 swamp, but I do want to make sure I'm able to see 1 swamp. But we can kind of do the same count here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sources of black as well in here. So because we've got so many dual lands, a lot of our cards will be very playable, especially when you include the campus guide and the environmental sciences. That will make it so that we can just go, whoops, let's put that back in. So that we can, like, you know, make sure that we're able to play our cards. If anything, I might actually want 1 more swamp in here. Because like I said, I only want to see 1 swamp, but I definitely want to see it early because of this Eliminate, the Vanishing Verse, and the Leech Fanatic. That might be a little better. But yeah, we've still got 7 sources of red though, so we're still going to be able to play our Rip Apart pretty early. We should be able to play our Warsinger on time, and this can be made with double white, so that's not that much of a concern. Heated Debate, I don't even really want to cast until like turn 5 anyway, because turn 5 is when people start playing 4/4s. So if I don't see a red source until turn 5 and this is what I draw, I'm actually good with that. So I think this is going to be what we go with. I don't know, this feels pretty good. And we got a bunch of sweet lessons too. Like we've got 2 Necrotic Fumes, a Pest Summoning, 2 Spirit Summonings, which is going to be our most playable card because it's white and red, so that's easiest to cast for us. And then the 1 Elemental Summoning too, which is sweet. So I've got a bunch of Pest tokens that I can make and then sacrifice one of the Pest tokens to Necrotic Fumes, which seems obviously pretty good for us. If we start getting the tokens online, then the Team Pennant is even better, but even without paying 1 for it, Team Pennant's still pretty good, because Vigilance and Trample is just a great keyword set to have on something. So, this actually feels pretty decent. So let's go ahead and try our first game here. So I'm really hoping that this kind of comes to a head here, because, I don't know, our draft deck looks really sick. Like, I think it's got a lot of potential. So hopefully it actually lives up to that potential, right? So this should be a pretty fun time here. Let's get rid of this. A real draft or a draft against bots? I think the only option on Arena is drafting against bots, unless you're playing like some like Pro Tour level event. I think everything that is not one of those is against bots. Look at that. Snapkeep. So now we've got these 2, which is good enough to cast Campus Guide. That's good enough to put a white source on top of our deck for Combat Professor. And that's going to be good enough to... Works for me. And a Duress to boot? Hell yeah, let's go. So even if they kill this Campus Guide, honestly, I just like do not give a shit about that. Yes, I would like to take the action. Give me a white land here. And this still kicks ass, though, because, like, even if they kill this, next turn, I can still just go Letter of Acceptance, Duress, and then I will have a lot of my colors fixed. Crushing Disappointment will go ahead and kind of re-up my hand if I need to. Otherwise, I can just jam Combat Professor and have a good time there. But this is kind of almost exactly as we drew it up. Like, we wanted a bunch of colors. We wanted to have some of our fixing in the stuff. We got interaction. We have ways to refill. And we've got a very good threat. Oh, didn't see that coming. Alright, well, let's go ahead and attack. See what, if anything, they do about this. Okay. We'll play this. We'll play our letter of acceptance. And we'll duress. Give me the loot! Well. Okay. I care more about them getting to learn than I do about them getting a treasure. So I'm going to take the learn card from their hand. Yeah, because if I had left that in their hand, then they actually could have just, like, cast this on my thing so that they could, my opponent play spirits. Yeah, for sure. I am definitely playing against a spirits pilot. This is actually not even bad either. So what I'm going to do here is play this environmental sciences to put a, I guess, red into my hand. And then from there, I can just play this Leech Fanatic. Neither of those will be able to attack through this Pillar Drop Ward in any way, but I think I'm actually good with that because I've got, like, a bunch of removals here. Yeah, Mono Red Spirits. Ugh, God, that just made me, like, vomit in my mouth a little. So let's go ahead, grab this, play this, and I want to just jam here. So it's going to be a little hard to break through these 1/5s, but to be honest, I think I'm still pretty okay with that. Look at that. That's great. So here I'm just going to go ahead and draw 2 because I want to hit a land drop. That counts. So if this attacks, no, first strike. Alright, so never mind. I was going to say I can just go ahead and, like, kill this off. That's fine, too. Oh. Is there any reason to not double block here? I don't think I want these creatures on the table, so I think I just do this, actually. I'm pretty good with that, even with the Rip Apart and stuff in my hand. Let's see. So I can Rip Apart, or I can draw a land, get this off the table, Rise of Exodus this, learn, get a 4/4, and then have that from there. Beware of mutagenic growth, right? Yeah, man, that mutagenic growth can be pretty scary. Hell yeah, look at us go. So here I'm going to cast Combat Professor, and I know that I have access to Vanishing Verse. Prismari Pledge Mage. Well, Vanishing Verse has no text there. Okay. So now they're going to try to cast this, which is fine because I'm just going to Vanishing Verse it. So that'll work out pretty well for us. Alright, so what I can do here is I can just Rise of Exodus this thing and then, like, not give a shit about this. I think that's a good plan. So I will do exactly that. Exile an instant or sorcery from a graveyard. Yes. And I would like a 4/4. The moment when the opponent thinks you forgot the card that was clearly revealed. Yeah. Alright, this plays. So, let's go ahead and... Is any of the white or red removal, say, plus reach? No, that's green. Big play is only green. Alright. So this is a safe attack, I think. I want a 4/4. And we will use our leftover mana. Cool. Hunt for specimens. Learning is pretty sweet, obviously. So I'm just going to give the combat professor the keyword. Attack with both of these guys. If they have another combat trick here, honestly, so be it. Okay, they don't. I guess that means I will just cast both my cards and be pretty happy about it. So let's grab a Spirit Summoning, and I'll use this to put a Rise of Exodus on top of my deck. Here it is. The card was clearly revealed, they said. Alright, I don't want them to see a rip apart, so I'm not going to cast it. Okay, cool. Because this is best 2 out of 3. So the fewer cards they see from me, I think the better. So I didn't really see anything that I think I needed to like sideboard anything for. So I don't know. We're pretty happy to just submit the same cards. Beware mutagenic growth. The scariest. Man, this set is so much fun for Limited. Obviously, board and Plague Engineer against any tribal deck. Oh my god. Plague Engineer... I can't even imagine playing Limited against Plague Engineer. I would be so pissed off. Because, like, realistically, in almost every Limited set, you would definitely play a 3-mana 2/2 Death Touch anyway. God. And then having that much upside on top of that too, holy Jesus, that sounds so busted, right? Alright, so what do we got here? So, this is good. So, we can play turn 1 land, turn 2 land. This will get a swamp so that we can have perfect colors. Life is always great. Yeah, keep 7. Modern Horizons Limited was dope as fuck. I believe you. I actually did not get to play any Modern Horizons Limited, although... I'll be honest, knowing me, I probably would have tried to force ninjas if I only had one draft to work with, you know? But I just never got to play the set. I did hear from pretty much everybody who mentioned it, though, that it was a lot of fun. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this in tapped. And, like I said, I'll still be really happy to cast this on turn 2. Oh. Well. I mean, okay, Magic. I guess I'll just play a 2-drop on turn 2 instead. I guess Gak was at least bad in Limited. I'll be honest, that's probably not even true. Like, Gak was probably fine in Limited because, like, just even a late game 8/8 is still probably really good. Even if you, like, just need to convoke 2 creatures and exile a bunch of cards from your graveyard after all the combat tricks and stuff were said and done, that was probably still fine. Alright, so first we're going to attack. Alright, opponent. Are you casting a spell on this thing? What are we doing here? Yeah, I'm just going to keep pressing our little bit of advantage here. So I want to do it like this because next turn, since I have all the land drops I needed now, because we're really good and lucky and all that other happy horse shit. So next turn, if they play something I care about, I can eliminate an environmental sciences next turn versus not pressing an advantage, not getting to learn or doing anything else. And this will make it so I can get an extra point in. Nothing was as sad as Broken Unlimited. Oh my god. So I did get to do that once, exactly once, and wow, it was clearly one of the easiest drafts I have ever had in my entire life. Like, playing with Oko in Limited, like, it almost felt like I wasn't even playing Magic. Like, the card is so busted. Like, every single time I saw it in my opening hand, I was just like, why the fuck is this allowed? God, it was just the most absurd thing. I mean, just making all of your shit 3/3s was just so insane because you play with so many things that are like, you know, 2/2s and 1/1s. Claim to Firstborn, you got it. Lost against Broco 0-2 in the Eldraine draft. He obviously had it in both of his starting hands. Yeah, like how the hell do you ever beat Oko in Limited? That seems so busted. So I get to do this now, just look for a white source. And since they didn't play anything that I have to care about, I can just play and equip to my token here. Like, unfortunately for our opponent, this is not going super well. Like, they've missed land drops, and our hand was good anyway. Yeah. Good lord, yeah. Like, Oko is easily one of the most, if not the most messed up thing I've played with in Limited. This doesn't give haste, does it? No. Alright, let's play a 5/5. Or a 4/4, rather. Yeah, this is pretty bad. They probably just scoop if they don't have a land here, right? Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Not even Senpai's Divining Top was as bad in Limited. I believe that. I did not play Magic then, but I am sure playing with cards like Top in Limited was probably super screwed up. Was that the same set as Jite, or was that a different set? Because I didn't play Magic then, honestly, everything Kamigawa just kind of looks the same to me. Yeah, okay. But if you play like in Kamigawa Block, I guess that was probably really warped. This is actually still fine. So we get to turn 3 this, turn 4 this, assuming we don't draw a red land for this. And as we saw earlier, we have a lot of fixing to make that possible. So this is still pretty keepable. Or we just have everything. Sometimes life is also just ridiculously easy. What do we got? A team pennant? Okay. So here I already have a letter of acceptance too. So we actually will get to, yeah, no. That thing is dead as shit. That is a Magic card we have played against before. It is not an enjoyable Magic card to play against, at least for us. So here I can play Lando. If I play this, I only have 3 left, so I guess I will Combat Professor now. Yeah. And then I can spend next turn playing Letter plus Leech Fanatic, and that'll give us, yeah, first strike, right? Yeah. So this is still pretty good, because, like, Magma Opus will be able to target the Spectre Defense, and, yeah, insane old bombs. Aw, I was using that. And Expanded Anatomy? Well, that'll be pretty nice if we get to hold this up. I don't know if I see that happening now, but let's play our cards anyway. Right, first strike damage. Okay. So this is gonna suck if they just like jam this right now. Like, that's a little sad times, but honestly, I think I'm still okay with that. Especially if they decide to like go ahead and oh hell yeah, let's go. I am very okay with that. So here, what I'm gonna end up doing is just clicking attack with just this. If they block with one of them, then I'll get to Magma Opus the other one.
Wait a minute. As I divide it as I choose. Oh, never mind. I don't even have to choose. I can just fucking do 1 damage to 1 if they block this too. So yeah, let's go. What did I miss? The stream died for a bit. Oh no. Well, yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but so we missed a relatively decent turn sequence there, and I am just going to I don't know, tap this, I guess. So hopefully the card in your hand is not like a professor's warning, but oh my god, feels good, man. Feels good. God, that card's so busted. But yeah, so what you missed was us basically just playing like a combat professor got killed, we played Leech Fanatic, and neither of those things by themselves were particularly special, but when you got to add everything up together, it led to us being able to play Magma Opus for a really insane turn. So I'm going to take away this Crushing Disappointment. If they cast Anatomy, then I'll get to respawn with Eliminate, so I don't mind that. And Archway Commons, tap 1, Letter of Acceptance will still work. Okay, cool. Let's do that. Oh, right, first strike damage. Alright. Is it my end or is Dre's net dying? As far as I know, my stuff is okay, so I can't say I know what's going on. That's really good from them, though. So I won't say that it's definitely not my stuff. Oh, that plays. Well, you can also just get dead. I don't know. I guess I'll grab this. So I hope that my internet or anything isn't dying. So far, my stuff doesn't say anything about any dropped frames. But I will definitely continue to keep an eye on it, just in case. Yeah. Alright, resubmit. So I'm just looking around to see if anything from here... Hydrate? Okay, I will do that. So let's get to hydrating. Where's my water? Here's my water. And our hand is pretty good. So we will keep this. Okay. So here we can do this and Campus Guide for a red, which I actually do still want to do because we just really want to hit all of our land drops in this deck. Like, our late game cards are so powerful that we just... The name of the game is really just like hit all the lands, be excited about it. So we're gonna play... Do I even bother with Hunt for Specimens this turn, or do I want to just like play this now? So I could play Hunt for Specimens now, and then play like a blank land. No, I'll just play this. Turn 5, I can play a 2-drop and do this. Yeah, okay. So I'd rather do this now. So let's do this, and I suppose I will look for a 3-2? Or against blue, do I want to just, or red, do I want to just get a 4-4? I'll just get a 3-2. So I'm not going to bother blocking here. And the next turn I can just like jam Combat Professor. The following turn... Okay. Oh, that's good too. Ooh, does that change anything? Yeah, I think I'm just going to play the Combat Professor. I can give Campus Guy the Vigilance and stuff, and then attack with Campus Guy because it'll be a 3-1. They definitely don't want to trade this for this. And then the next turn, I can still just, like, use 5 mana, and they will still have to deal with the Combat Professor stuff. Like, this still feels pretty fine, right? Because next turn I can play Spirit Summoning and use my Archway Commons turn. They can't attack with this too well because Campus Guide will just block it. If they attack with Fuming Effigy, I don't really care. And if they use their turn, yeah, doing something like this, then I don't particularly like it, but it was always going to happen anyway. We're playing Storm's Anthem in the background now? Yeah. So much brain power. Yeah, this is fine. So I'll go ahead and take the 4, get this Trudge off the table, and then next turn I'm still pretty happy because this 3-2 can block here. And if they use their whole turn preventing that, then I'm... Oh, hell yeah, let's go. Well, that changes my plan. Damn, now I can't play this, though. Because I can Duress the thing, play a 3-2, or I can Duress and play Letter of Acceptance. Oh, yeah, that plays better. Let's Duress and use Letter of Acceptance. Oh, not bad. Alright. Well, I guess I still take the 4-4. Just reduce the number of threats they have access to. I probably should have attacked, because I don't really want to block. So that didn't feel great. Yeah, I missed a point there. Oh well, feels bad. So now if they just, like, play their 5-5, I don't really mind using my Rise of Exodus on that. This is going to trigger, but I think I'm okay with that. I don't want to use my Lorehold Excavation on that, so yeah, I will just do this. And I will grab Trudge, Lifelinks, 5-4, or no, 6-5. Okay. So now if they use their whole turn doing this plus this, I have to block, but I'll... Wait, do I have to block? 5, 6, 7... Oh, shit. Yeah, uh-oh. I think we just lost the game. Yeah, because that's exactly 7. Aw, man, feels terrible. And I'm still gonna go down to 1 because of the stupid thing. So now I have to, like, play my Leech Fanatic and use Necrotic Fumes. So I at least go to 2, but, like, it's not a good feel. Okay. Actually, I think I'd rather kill off this than this, right? Because, like, the lifelink is going to be really important. Yeah. Target your thing. Exile a creature I control. So, it sucks that they're going to get to do this, but I think I'm actually still mostly okay. Because, like, what? Oh, each player. Haha. Haha. Oh, whoops. Alright. Well, that's fine. I thought it was you lose 2 life, not each player loses 2 life. That doesn't change the way I play that turn, though, but that's still funny. So here I'm going to go ahead and play first. Our hand is actually fine. Nah, mind your business. I'm not doing anything turn 1 anyway, so that being untapped doesn't really matter. Yep. I doubt they block this, but I will be very happy if they do. And if they use their whole turn equipping Team Pennant, I'll be even happier because I can Vanishing Verse. Yeah, I was crushed by disappointment for sure. I was, in fact, oh, that place. Do I use it now? Yeah, I want to be mana efficient. I really wanted them to, like, use this team pennant, but oh well. Man. Oh, that's really good. This card's sick. Not terrible. It's not the best here, but it's not bad. I can't use it until next turn, which is still mostly okay-ish. Alright, what do we mill? Alright, so we've seen 2 combat tricks from them, but to be honest, I don't really think we can avoid them. Oh, shit. No combat trick. Okay. Yikes. Yikes! Oh, no, that's terrible. We are not doing good out here. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, that's gonna happen. And, like, I can't cast until next turn either. Like, this is super not going well. So it looks like we're about to pick up our first loss, which really sucks. Warsinger is not bad, but it does not help just yet. I think... Ugh. That's 8. I have 7. Yeah, alright. Yeah, this is, gonna end poorly, because they can, like, kill us with basically any combat trick on this thing. Okay. Oh, alright, so it just sucks to be us? Got it. So I can block here, take 6, go to 1. Next turn, Magma Opus will allow me to tap before it attacks and kill this plus something else they play. Alright, well, let's try it. See if I can get away with going to 1 here. Okay. My turn. Yeah. A Rip Apart is nice. Damn. And it turns out I guess I exiled the wrong thing. Oh well. We milled the eliminate. Okay, that's fine because I don't really want that. Stop at combat. Oh boy. Alright. Let's try it. Damage divided. I don't know. Let's see if that ends up being what happens there. Okay. This is actually good because it means that we can get the one that says well, that sucks. Wait, no, I have Rip Apart. Never mind. Oh, nope. Sucks again. So here I can hunt for specimens, use the Hunt for Specimens token to get this. And but I'm still just dead to that. That sucks. Well, alright. Damn. Maybe if I attack with both and they block? I don't know, I can try it. I'm gonna try it. Maybe they block. Nope. Okay. Boo. Alright. That sucks. Man. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate because we had like a bunch of really good stuff, and I don't know. I guess our deck was just like way too dirtily in those specific games. But I still really like our deck though. This seems okay. So we get to go here, we get to go 2-drop, 3-drop. That's still pretty good. Red, white. Stone Rise, okay. I will definitely block. Okay. That plays 2. I'm okay with that, obviously. So here I am just gonna play my dual land and show my planes. See if this dies to like a rip apart or something. But they did miss a land drop, so that's important because they played first. Okay. Let's see what bad thing happens to this. Oh, nothing. No bad thing happens. So they do get a planes, which is pretty sweet for them. Because they missed a land drop, so that's actually going to be a really big game for them. So what I can do here is Warsinger, see if they trade off both of these. If so, I think I'm actually okay with that. And that'll let me just like play this because my hand is mono lands otherwise. So I don't think I want to like try to get too cute. Yeah, that's fine. And then I can just like play this. So I really need for our next turn to contain like a real card and not just like another land. Close enough. That's pretty good for them. Alright, so here I will be fairly happy about getting to do this. No. And do I just want to grab a 4/4 or do I want to grab something else? I will have 7 mana on my next turn, so I'm pretty happy to grab a 4/4. Was playing blue-white all along, aka draw go. Yes, seriously. Like, land go is not really something I want to be doing here in Limited. Tome Shredder, that's pretty good. Luckily, I do have the Vanishing Verse to help with that. So let's do this. Let's play a 5/5 or a 4/4. I keep saying 5/5. It's not quite that good. And Vanishing Verse will definitely help here. Let's see if they try to cast like a combat trick on it. No? Okay. Stonerise Spirit, we know about that. And a Pillar Drop Warden. Okay. Vanishing Verse will go to a card from your graveyard. Okay, sure. So they can do that, but they don't have a way to pump that. So I guess I'll just do the one that actually has flying. Ay, magic. Another one? Jeez, And our hand is 3 more lands, so we're going to have to do some real work to not just find ourselves dead here. So let's do this, and I want to exile this. What am I supposed to do with this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's not enough to activate one of my things there. No point in attacking. At least I guess we're milling more lands. But I really need to just like start drawing spells here, because this is not it. So am I just taking 3 here? Yeah. My Lanta, this is rough. And that's fine. Nope. Not what I needed. So 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, I'm out of creatures, aren't I? Yeah, okay. So I have to just play, equip, hope that attacking starts to get me there. But this is still really rough. But at least I can start scrying, I guess. So that's like kind of a thing. Is it just me or the power level of the average deck gone up in the past 2 to 5 years? I remember being happy with a 5 mana Battle Rattle Shaman. Yeah, like the power level of limited sets has definitely gone way up. Oh my god. Yikes. This is so bad. So am I just taking 4 here? Yeah, alright. Also, the power level in Arena is especially high because the bots can't draft to save their lives. Yo, facts. Oh, well, alright. I guess that sucks. Alright, I take 5. Oh my god, are we actually just gonna 1-2 with this? Man, this feels terrible because our deck feels really good. I mean, you can't do anything if you just draw 11 lands, but man, still not doesn't feel great. At least the bots now brainstorm is low impact and Strix limited. Oh, come on. I mean, this doesn't even do anything. But like, I don't want to mull to 5. Yeah, alright. Unfortunate, because our deck felt really good. Well, alright, I guess it's a little better. But still not exactly happy about having to mull a bunch. And then just like, I don't know, getting dunked on by a bunch of creatures. So here, so turn 3, I guess I'd rather just like play this. You saw 15 land. Oh, the deck plays 17. Yeah, I'm only playing 17 actual lands here. But yeah, saw basically all of them. Oh, well, that's pretty good. They got the flyer. Okay, sure. Yeah, alright. So if I do this, there's no attack this turn, but next turn what I can do is Spirit Summoning and Vanishing Verse the Flyer. And then the following turn, I'll be able to like Biblioplex Assistant so that I can at least use the Vanishing Verse an additional time. So all's not lost here. Yeah, that sucks, but oh well. A third swamp. Man, why did it have to exactly be a swamp? Shoot. Yeah, this is, not looking great. Alright, well, I'll cast the one I know I have. So at least I can block here to here, which feels okay-ish. Again, I'm going to be taking this too, and that kind of sucks. But I do want the Vanishing Verse to get rid of this or something slightly better than this. Flashback to me saying play more mountains and less swamps. I mean, to be fair, this is the first time I haven't been able to cast anything all draft. Like, sometimes it'll just happen, but like, oh man. But like, I still stand by that decision now. Alright. One, two. Oh, could I have denied this? Yeah, up to one. I probably should have just denied this then. Was there a better spell to put on here? No, I guess not. Well, the Hunt for Specimens might have been a little better. So what can I even draw to get out of this, really? I'm pretty sure I'm just, like, close to dead. And to be fair, putting this on top of my deck was just a big mistake. Because, like, I knew that I didn't have the ability to affect either of the two creatures. Well, that's not bad. But, it still doesn't make what I did less of a mistake, though. You're a sorcery, so I'm basically just going to target you now. Yeah. And I don't like the idea of throwing away a creature, but I think that's what's going to happen this turn. Oh, man. So we go up to 5 here, and I'm basically crossing my fingers. Yeah, alright. I'll just do this now, whatever. Take this, go to 1 next turn. So the only thing I can draw is Magma Opus. It's because that'll do deal 2 to each of these. And if they have anything to do damage or pump either creature, I'm just dead. Yeah, alright. I think this is going to be a 1-2. I think we're SOL here. Alright. Let's see if we draw it, I guess. We don't. Okay. So that's upsetting, because, like, I think the draft deck was pretty good. We had, like, the one awkward turn, which it still ended up being fine. Like, I think our land counts were right, and just, I don't know. I think what ended up really happening there is that we just, like, didn't have enough gas, I guess, to keep up with what everybody else was doing. Even though when we drew, like, our cards in the right order, they felt really good. There was the one game where we just saw 100 lands, and, like, I don't know that there's really anything to be done about that, because, like, we didn't have any spots where we, say, drew these and could have just drawn a card to get out of it, or this wasn't too awkward, really, at almost any point. There was exactly one turn where one of these was kind of awkward, but we were still able to play our cards anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think everything as far as colors goes was still, like, fine, because yes, we drew one of these swamps when a mountain would have been better to pitch this elemental masterpiece, but, like, as we saw from our draw steps, even doing that wasn't gonna do us any good because we just didn't draw anything to go with it. And our opponents just had enough removal to do all of the things they needed to when they did it. Granted, me putting Vanishing Verse on top of my deck when I saw they had a multicolor creature in hand, that was a mistake. That I fucked up on. I should have just denied the assistance trigger and just chosen to put nothing on top of my deck so that we could have instead just had like another natural draw. That would have been a lot better. But I still like the way I built this, and it just, I don't know, maybe more 2-drops creatures instead of like this Lorehold Excavation. But like the Lorehold Excavation was also pretty good for us. Yeah, I don't know. I think we just got blown out, and that was one of those ones where I was probably just playing a deck that felt really strong and ended up not having enough gas, maybe? I don't know. So let's see what we get in our little pity pack here. No, I don't want mythics. I want rares. Yeah, I've got 4 rare cards and 7 mythics, and I'm never going to use the 7 mythics. And the only reason I even have 4 rare wild cards is because Thassa's Oracle got banned. So when Thassa's Oracle got banned in Historic, they replaced everybody's things with wild cards. So I have 4 rare wild cards for once, which is pretty sweet. So that's really the only reason that we even have the rare wild cards that we have here. But since I'm on Arena, I might as well play a little bit Spirits today, right? So let's see if Mono Blue feels okay today. Historic and Mono Blue. So let's check out the Mono Blue deck before doing that too. Imagine having only double-digit commons and uncommons. Yeah, man, that'd be so good. If I could turn like 100 commons into a rare card, I would do that so fast. Or like 50 uncommons into a rare card, I would be so happy with that. Or even if I could trade down. Like if I could trade, say, like 1 mythic into 2 rare cards, everybody would probably love that so much if they had some kind of like dusting system available. But this is going to be our Mono Blue deck, right? We've got Ascendant Spirits, Spectral Sailors. There is no Mausoleum Wanderer in Historic. It doesn't exist. So the other 2 spots here are just Siren Storm Tamers, but we do get Curiosity on top of Curious Obsession. There's Spell Pierce, which is okay, 4 Lofties, and 2 Memory Lapse, which is probably fine. Rattle Chain, Shackle Guys, Supreme Phantoms, and Brazen Borrowers kind of round out the rest. I don't really want to play Nebelgast Herald, I think. That might end up being wrong. But I don't know, so far so good. I don't know, we're, I think, in Diamond 4 or some shit. Yeah, Diamond 4. So let's see how this goes. If you can trade 1 mythic for 1, I would honestly, I would take that. Like, trading down just 1 mythic for 1 rare, I would probably take that. Hand's okay. So we got a counterspell, we got some instant speed spirits that we can play. All in all, not too sad about this. Never mind, I am a little sad about this. So if they just play like a couple of 1-drops like Allosaurus Shepherd and something else, I'll still be fairly happy with just going like Rattle Chains and then next turn Curious Obsession plus bounce something. If they do something else, okay, good. I was gonna say if they play like a Scrap Heap Scrounger, what? This is just like some black-green deck? That is so much better for us than Elves. Oh my god, I thought it was going to be fucking elves. I am way happier about that, to be completely honest. Okay. Oh my god. To be honest, if you don't want to be short on rares, just play monocolor because you won't need any lands. That doesn't even work! Because, like, just this Spirits deck, for example, it's mono blue Spirits. And even out of this deck, so many cards are rares. And I think I'm going to get to use my Spell Pierce here. Because they're probably just going to try to, like, collect accompany me, right? Alright, well, yeah, no sir, Bob. Get that shit out of my face. But even this deck has a shit ton of rares, right? Like, Memory Lapse is a rare. I think I'm actually okay with that. So this, I just let resolve, because they can't use it. And I'm just going to bounce the Scrap Heap Scrounger. Where's my this? Alright, piss off. So here I'll just go ahead and take one, and I don't really care about that. So now I have double interaction via 2 counterspells. So this feels really, really nice. And if they try to just, like, do something with... that's not fucking resolving opponent. Let's put that on top of their deck. Because I don't care if they try to cast it again next turn either. Oh, you know what I should have done, actually? That should have been the one that I used. Scrap Heap Scrounger, I still don't care. 6, do this, and this. If I do this, they attack me for 1? Yeah, that's whatever. Because that still doesn't do anything for Ronus. So I take 1 here, but I don't even really care about that. Because I can just flash in Rattle Chains EOT, hold up double counterspell for next turn. I don't know, that one, I guess. They're at 9. Alright. So let's draw a card. It's a land. Oh, I'm so stupid. This thing can't block. Whoops. Alright, I missed lethal. Yeah, I forgot this stupid Scrap Heap Scrounger can't block. Yeah, I saw the little no block emblem. I'm like, wait a fucking minute. Uh-oh. So no, you're right. I just missed it. I'll even give him an oops. They can have an oops. Luckily, we're still nowhere near dead, but that does not make that any less of a mistake. Alright. Alright, so here we have Aether Gusts, and I think I actually do like Bind a Monster. I could also just play like Grafdigger's Cage because it stops both Scrap Heap Scrounger and Collect the Company. Spell Pierce I think I actually like because they should be putting in more removal. The Endless Tragedy of Manlands, folks. No. I've remembered the Faceless Haven. I forgot that their creature couldn't block. So, like, I knew I could attack with this, but if the options are either attack into their blocker or hold up double counterspell, I chose to hold up the counterspell. But what I forgot is that they can't block, so my counterspells were irrelevant. Because I could have just killed them. I'm going to put in the Grafdigger's Cage. So, I do like the Aether Gust against either Resolved or not Resolved Ronus. I don't necessarily care too much about a lot of their creatures if I have Aether Gust, Brazen Bower, stuff like that on the table. Spell Pierce is still going to be able to take care of Coco when I don't have a cage, and like any miscellaneous removal spells that I assume they're going to be trying to slot into. So this spot still feels pretty decent for us. The only card that I think could be scared of here is the Great Henge, but that's also another reason to keep in Spell Pierce. So this hand feels pretty good. So if they Thought Seize us, so be it. But if they don't Thought Seize us, life is really sick feeling. So let's see what happens here. No, my nice things. I don't know. Take the cage. Oh, they took rattle chains. All right. Well, I guess I'm still just gonna try it. All right. So, let's see what happens here. And I'm not going to try this now. They're just holding up mana. That's pretty clearly a removal spell of some sort. So here I'm just going to play the Shacklegeist. So they'll know most of what's in my hand, but I think I'm okay with that. So they should, like, I don't know, kill this with a Fatal Push. Eliminate. Okay, sure. So now let's see what I draw here to help make up for it. A Brain Maggot? Okay. That's kind of cool, actually. Oh, no. So I can draw Aether Gust? Because I have the land to go with it, so I think I should... No. What the fuck am I talking about? I can just draw either a Spell Pierce or a Grafdigger's Cage, and that's higher percentage than drawing just an Aether Gust. Curiosity... Ascendant Spirit. Okay. Found my way to Twitch. Hey, what's up? So yeah, I don't know. Today's good. We just tried one of the draft open things, and hey, well, there's the thing we talked about. So let's do this. Like, we'll just attack. Okay. I'll take another card, please, if you don't mind, deck. Okay, that plays. So what happens here? I can Aether Gust a Coco. They'll put it on top of their deck. Then I can Brazen Borrower, Brain Maggot, and immediately play the Cage to stop it for good. That seems okay. Let's do that. So I have creatures they can eat. That's whatever. So yeah, so we tried one of the draft open things, and to be honest, that was pretty bad. We drafted what I thought was a really sweet deck, and it turned out to just, like, you know, be not all that sweet. Which I'm actually not even all that sad about, because I still like the way we drafted and built our deck, but it just ended up being something that didn't work out. And I think I'm actually pretty okay with that. I think I'm going to just level this. That'll still let us hold up our interaction, so untap. Okay, they pretty clearly do not have a Fatal Push by this point. Are they just blocking? Oh, okay. Oh my god, so many cards! Drawing every card. Okay. And we're pretty happy with this. Now we have double Aether Gust. The Supreme Phantom, I'm pretty good with waiting until next turn for. And yeah. What is that? A Mammoth? Sure. Ceratops. Well, we can't counter it, but... Yeah, let's go. Fuck yeah, Aether Gust. Let's go. So yeah, so after our draft deck failed a little miserably there, we still got to open up, like, a Mythic Wild card. We're probably building up towards things. Look at this. We're getting rewards for doing cool stuff. And we're playing a little bit of mono blue spirits. Just, I don't know, to have something to jam. And this deck has been treating me pretty well. Like, I'm in the middle of Diamond, even though, like, I don't really play too much Arena. So if I decide to care over the next week, I could just, like, go into Mythic. Just for, like, the extra booster pack reward at the end of the month. But I'm not trying to, like, top 1200 for a tournament. Yikes. Oh, man. No, not like this. This is bad. Alright, well, let's see what happens. A second land would be... Oh, no. Alright. Oh, boy. So, I'm not going to try to Curious Obsessions because I assume I am looking at Phoenix. So, if they have, like, a Lightning Axe or something for this, then so be it. But if their plan was just to, like, play Shock or something on this, okay. So, now I actually feel pretty okay about this plan, because I can, like... Wait, let's make sure to tap this correctly, too. I still think it's sad that we can't have different languages in single cards for Arena, like on tabletop. Yeah, what happens is, like, with this client, whenever you are... Oh, no, they have the Lightning Axe? Come on! Leave my things alone. Damn it. Well, that sucks. So I can do this, hold up Lofty Denial, which... we just needed them to leave our shit alone for one turn. I think I actually do have to counter this. I can't really let that survive. Not a great feel, but... Okay... Let's... Yeah, I'm gonna try it. There's no way this actually resolves. Oh, shit, Brainstorm. Alright, well... Scusi means sorry in Italian? Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, I definitely don't speak any Italian at all. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's actually pretty good for people who only speak one language, i.e. most of America, that, like, when you see cards, they only show up in, like, your language that you select when you install Arena. So, like, I don't know. I get why they do it. But I can also see how a lot of people just like looking at cards that are not in their native language, which is totally acceptable, you know? But it definitely makes sense just for, you know, being able to make sure that people are always able to read and do their things in a language that they understand, that cards only appear in the language that you see. I do like how, like, at least in fields that are not, you know, oh, perfect. That's what I was looking for. So you'll see that when I highlight Faithless Looting and need to read the card, it shows up as an English titled Faithless Looting and stuff. But when it shows up just, like, in their graveyard over there, like, it even, that one I did know, because, yeah, I don't like that word, but I did know that that is how that card shows up, like, in French, because that just is, like, the literal word delay in French, but I don't like that word, so I just, like, won't use it in English connotations. So the likelihood of our... I actually think I let that resolve. I don't like the idea of them drawing a bunch of cards. Actually, no. I think... Never mind. I counter this. Yeah, because of, like... Yeah, okay. Because it was pretty clear they didn't have a shock last turn. So I think... Okay. So you're saying there's a chance. It's also very differently pronounced. I believe that. I obviously don't know anything about it, but I definitely believe that. So this is actually not bad, though, because if they only see one removal spot here, then I'm just going to get to jam the other Brazen Borrower, and we might actually end up winning anyway. What's that? A Brainstorm? Okay. Yeah. So not much I can do about a Brainstorm. Also not much I want to do about a Brainstorm. I would rather... Okay, good. Yeah, because now they can't play 2 removal spells because they only have 1 land drop coming. So this... looks like we're going to end up winning anyway. Nice. Fun fact, Ugin actually wasn't legal to play in German. What? They messed up the wording while they translated where X was translated to more than X. Oh, That sucks. Okay. So if they have a removal spell, I guess this thing's just dead. If they don't have a removal spell, then... Well, never mind. It's just damned if you do, damned if you don't. So I'm just going to play this. Nice. Alright, sweet. So it looks like we stole a game there. We take those. So here I want Disputes, I want Grafdigger's Cage, Test of Talents... wrong format, never mind. I was going to say Test of Talents is really good against Treasure Cruise, but I am not thinking about Historic. That was me thinking about the Pioneer version of this deck. So the 2-mana counter spells are a little medium. By a little medium, I actually kind of mean I just straight up don't really like them. And what else do I want to take out here? Because I do want Aether Gust. I think Siren Storm Tamer is good. Ascendant Spirit's actually kind of bad, because like you need to pump a shit ton of mana into it just to get it above Young Peasy. So I think it's not great. Ugin for 0 to exile the entire board? Jesus. Yeah, maybe don't translate it like that for sure. So that's kind of funny actually that happened like that then. So here, opponent goes first. Our hand is good, so we'll keep it. I'd obviously rather have Phoenix and an Ox. All right. Well, if they have an Abrade here, then I guess that sucks. But I would rather. Right, what happens here? So if I don't play this cage, then turn 2 they do what they want. Yeah, I'll just play the cage. So if they have a braid, then honestly, so be it. If they have to spend this turn looking for an Abrade, I'm actually okay-ish with that. So here I will just play our friend Supreme Phantom, I think. Or I can hold up mana, see if they try to play around a counterspell that I obviously don't have, but end of turn I can Spectral Cellar and just like fucking unload on them. Or I can Supreme Phantom and make them do a little additional work. I think I want to... Okay, we're going to squelch them. I am done listening to you. Only downside is that we do want to get the Sprite Dragon off the table eventually, because it will get really big. So that's fine. So now let's see if they do anything about this. And if they go ahead and... Oh, hell yeah, let's go. So now I'll have Rattle Chains to back it up too. Never mind, I am no longer sad. Alright, well, let's attack then. Okay. Okay, we will do nothing about that. So I would love to see a Brazen Borrower soon so that I can bounce this Sprite Dragon. Because it will eventually be able to win this race. As of right now, we're still doing pretty good. Especially if they just try to like point a removal spell here. That can get scary. Faithless Looting. Okay. And this is kind of what I was scared of, though, because, like, they can definitely just do a lot of really solid work, and we can find ourselves very dead soon to these. Okay. Blue, okay. So that blue, I probably should have put Rattle Chains in. Oh. Okay. I guess I'll do this to see if they Mystical Dispute it. Nope, nothing. Alright. Well, I guess I'll untap. Damn it. So this is actually pretty funny. So I can Curious Obsession here. And I can Supreme Phantom. Now, if that card is something they can cast, like another opt, then it still sucks to be me. But if not, then maybe they have to trade it. I don't like it, but I will take that trade. Okay. They just a bunch of lands, okay. Aether Gust. That plays. So let's try to Aether Gust this Bright Dragon now. And we're going to play the land first because we want to make sure to be able to pay for a Mystical Dispute. Okay. Okay. So this is going to be another one where I will at least try to put Curiosity on the Rattle Chains and see... Actually, I should probably try to put it on Supreme Phantom. Yeah, that seems better. I'm going to put the Curiosity on Supreme Phantom to see if they have something to do about it. And at least doing it on Supreme Phantom plays around cards like Shock. So let's see if that's what ends up happening here. If they have a Lightning Axe or an Abrade to kill Supreme Phantom, Dispute. Damn. But I'm actually pretty happy that they didn't get to Dispute with this on the table. So I'll still take it. Let's see what this last card is. Oh, okay, sure. Is that just like a Young Peasy then? Oh, well, I will try it again. Let's see what happens. Sick. Draw me something good. That certainly counts. That is something good. Let's see. Just Googled it. There's actually a lot of translation error in Magic. Teferi's response misses an entire last line of text in German, which states draw 2 cards. Is Teferi's response, is that the one that stops them from, like, targeting your lands or something? That sounds right. Okay. Sick. Cool. Look at us go. Alright, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and take a little bit of... Oh, rank up 2? Fuck yeah, let's go. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break. I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so. And in that break, I'm just going to go ahead, grab myself some... I'm actually going to refill my water because it's almost empty. So that I'm definitely going to do. But just go ahead and grab a snack and stuff. And then when I come back, I suppose we can play a little more Mono Blue on here. And I'll even update the titles too. So when I'm back, that's what we can do there. Oh, counter target spell or an ability. Yep. Okay. So I had the right one in play. Or the right one in mind, yeah. Yeah, because that card's really good. But if you don't have the draw 2 cards, then that's not really the same Magic card at all, right? But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little counter on, and I will be back. Yeah, way less playable without the draw 2 cards. Yeah, for sure. It's like, yo, counter your Wasteland, draw 2 cards. Pretty busted. But without the draw 2 cards, card fucking sucks. So yeah, I will do that, and I will be right back.
Hello there. Hello there.
On mute. All right, what up, y'all? So, thanks to everybody who stuck around and waited. And lunch was pretty good. I had some leftover shaved steak. So, I got to, just use that. Had a few green onions and sliced up a tomato real quick and made a pretty big sandwich out of it. So, I no longer have leftover shaved steak, but certainly not the worst lunch. It was pretty good. So, that's pretty exciting. And so now let's see, what do we want to do? First, I'm actually just going to check out and see if there are any more of the any more spoilers out. So let's see if anything else. Ooh, there are a few new spoilers. Hell yeah, let's go. All right. Oh, and Pokemon Dynasty, what up? Yo, so good timing. I don't know if you are, if you have me on silent or whatever, but if you can hear me, dude, we actually do need to kind of get together and do something Pokemon. Because, obviously you've mentioned it a few times, but I'm seeing your name and I'm thinking about it now, so I am saying it now. For everybody who does not know, or who's aware of me only for Magic stuff, I am medium good at Pokemon. I used to play really competitively a few years ago. Now it's just ultra casual for me. But I do still like to have a lot of fun within the competitive circles. I play a little bit of doubles in the Switch environment. I liked to play a lot of Overused. Basically Overused is the standard, if you will, of Pokemon. It's easily the biggest competitive format that is not actually on the Switch. But they're really fun. There's a lot of information to know. To be honest, Pokemon, on a scale of 1 to 10, as far as games that are competitively hard to play, if Magic on a modern, if Magic Modern is we'll call Magic Modern a 6. Okay, yeah, because high level chess, I would probably put at 9.5 to a 10, because actual competitive chess is very hard. Modern Magic is probably a 6. If you are playing Modern Tron on the list of all competitive games, that's probably, not even being funny, a 2. I would put competitive Pokemon at an 8 to an 8.5. Not even kidding. It is very hard to be good at Pokemon. But Pokemon Dynasty has a stream where he goes around, catches a bunch of shiny Pokemon, and also plays doubles competitively on the Switch. And I think last month he made top 500 in the world or something like that. So he did really well for himself. But I also know him through Magic in my area, and I don't know, I like to think we're pretty good friends. So yeah, I definitely would like to, I guess, kind of collab, talk about competitive stuff, and I don't know, maybe even jam a Dynamax raid or two. So let's check out some new cards. This is hype. So Turok's Cantil, huh? Target opponent reveals their hand, choose a card, they discard and then discard at random. Okay, so this card's unplayable, but I'm sure somebody will probably try to play this in their limited deck where it still won't be good, but who cares? We know that we're not getting him to Turok because a Turok-like card has come up, but realistically, I don't think we were ever even really considering that we would get him to Turok. It just wasn't never happening. Lucid Dreams, what do you do? Draw X cards where X is the number of card types among cards in your graveyard. Another unplayable. Excuse me. Again, in limited, this could be, if you see a sorcery, a creature, an instant, and maybe a single artifact or enchantment or something. Paying 5 for a draw 4 in limited is pretty sweet, but honestly, outside of that, meh at best. Tammy for blue, yeah. Spreading Insurrection, huh? Steal a creature, it gains haste, and it has Storm. Sure.
Late to dinner, huh? Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield and you get a food? That's kind of cool. Alright. Insert Reanimate Plus. Sure. Break Ties. Choose one. Oh, that's not terrible. So you get a Naturalize, which is fine, or an Exile. Oh, so it's Return to Nature. So it's Return to Nature plus Reinforce for a white. Sure. Pauper leaks today? Yeah, for real. All of the cool common things are happening. Wonder. Whoa! No! 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 Oh man! So, I actively do not like this. I doubt this card will actually see a lot of constructed play, but we are the deck that preys on creatures not having flying. Oh man, this is terrible for us. Yeah, because any deck that wants this will actually be able to block our creatures effectively. And that's the last thing we want, is our opponents being able to participate. Shit, that's really bad for us. Granted, I don't think that many decks will actually want to play Wonder, but if something wants to play Wonder, then that will be really bad for us. Because we don't need Wonder. All of our cards already fly, so like we don't give a shit. But if somebody else wants to play, I don't know, say like some kind of Smuggler's Copter, anything really, and like I can see... No, never mind. I was going to say I can see Merfolk maybe playing something like this with Smuggler's Copter, but that seems like just too many spots to devote to being able to play Wonder. So I don't really see that happening, but I do not like this. I don't know. I don't think it'll end up mattering because I don't think anything will actually play Wonder. Objection, Skyclave doesn't fly. Yeah, but like, in the event where we want to give Skyclave flying, how are we discarding anything? I guess we could play Smuggler's Copter, but that's probably too many spots too. Benthic Biomancer can loot away Wonder. Okay, that's better. Okay, you're right about that one. That one I'll give you. Alright, yeah, so I don't like this. Because, like, Merfolk... Because, realistically, their one-drops kind of sucked before, but now they can play, like, Rishadan Dockhand, they can play Benthic Biomancer, they can activate Biomancer to discard this Wonder, and now, instead of just worrying about unblockable via Island Walk, decks also have to worry about unblockable via flying. Yeah, you play, like, the 4 Benthic Biomancers, 3 to 4 Rishadan deck hands, and then, like, I don't know, 2 Smuggler's Copter, and that's a reliable way to put Wonder in your graveyard. We require Wonder in our deck to give our Skyclave flying as well? Fuck that. Like, oh, man. Oh, cool. A Boomer reprint. Sweet. So it can be one of the boys as well? Facts. Sword of Truth and Justice. Sure. More reprints. What are you? Sarah's Emissary, huh? That's cute. So... enters the battlefield, you choose a card type. You and creatures you control have protection from the card type. So that's cute. I don't know, this could see a lot of potential, especially like just in reanimate decks anyway. At least it's not a 3/3 Death Touch for 3. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I actually mind this card. Like, this card seems interesting. Because, like, against control decks, you can shut off either instants or sorceries, whichever you think you need to. Seems good there. If you're playing as, say, Reanimator, you can give you and your creatures protection from instants, or, hilariously enough, protection from lands, so that you can't have your opponent just bounce your legendary creatures with Caracas in Legacy. So I think there's actually like kind of a cool interaction here. Obviously you can choose creatures so that you just like win combat at all times. That's pretty sweet. But yeah, I don't know. I think this card's interesting. This card seems pretty sweet. Giving yourself protection from creatures is really big though, because like, yeah, I think like this instantly makes it to Legacy Reanimator just for that alone. Because like, if you're playing against something with like, say like lands or turbo depths, you get to just like Entomb for this thing, reanimate this thing, call creature, and they can't kill you with Merit Lage. So that seems really sweet. And this thing's non-legendary, so they can't bounce it with Caracas either. So that's... yeah, I don't know. I think this card has a lot of potential. I like it. And that's the end of the new cards, so there's that. I'm still really sad that they're giving us fucking Wonder. I don't like that at all. But oh well. Yeah, cool. So we got some... oh, man. Excuse me. I guess I'll be right back because I gotta blow my nose again. Yeah, BRB. Wonder how did that happen? Cute. Alright. I see you. Alright, sweet. So while I am complaining a little about Wonder, let's go ahead and just jam right in here. And you know what I'm actually gonna do while I'm also jamming here? I think after this round here, what I'm gonna do is... hey, what up, fellow Lucas? How you doing? So, you know what I think I'm going to do? Because Wonder actually is legitimately interesting in the world of, I guess, Merfolk. And I'm good. Today is a great day. So, we've got a lot of spoiler cards coming out of Modern Horizons. Some stuff is already very interesting, even though we've only seen a few cards. This hand is playable. We get to gush over some new cards for archetypes that we may or may not have been able to see before. I don't really know what If Near Deadlands means. Is this just like some mono-black pile of cards? Oh, you know what this probably is? This is probably like one of those old mono-black... okay, so I guess they take this. Oh. If they're looking at Lofty Denial, then they're probably one of those Karn piles. Which is actually not that bad for us, because we've got 3 more Lofty Denials, 2 Memory Lapses, and 3 Spell Pierces in our deck. So if they're just trying to play some colorless pile of cards that plays like Karn and friends, we're still pretty good against those. Black-white? Am I playing against zombies or vampires? What the hell is this? Sure. So you name one, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's fine. Because if you name one, I'll just play the other. Alright, yep. So I'll just play the Shacklegeist here. And now, starting next turn, I can put the Obsession on the Shacklegeist, have it protected with the Storm Tamer, and then just kind of work from there. What's my take on Urza Saga? Seems pretty scary to me. I think Urza Saga has the potential to be really scary, for sure. In the world of spirits, I think we don't really care that much, because the card, like I said, it has the potential to be pretty scary, but I don't know that we actually care all that much about it. Because while the card is really good, I think all of the decks that want to play a card like that are decks that we don't really have too many problems with, you know? So I'll just keep this like this. So if they try to kill Storm Tamer with the mana they have, I'll go ahead and put Silencer in their hand. And if not, then I can just like flash in Spectral Sailor and go from there. Also of note, both of their lanes are pain lands, and I've got Faceless Haven able to attack too, so they are looking at a very real clock here. I'm actually not going to worry about that. I'm just going to play this. And this will put them on effectively a 1-turn clock here, because I can go ahead and attack them for 3. Yes, please. Don't mind if I do. Do I care if I lose a life? No, but I do care if they draw a card. So I'm going to just do this. Now, I can borrow the Scourge of the Skyclaves, take 3. If they attack with both, because I'll be able to just untap an attack with the Faceless Haven. Okay. Actually, I think I just take this then. Because if they try to play a creature post-combat, I can just flash in Borrower and kill him. So I'm actually just going to go down to 8 and not worry about this. So that's going to be a huge. That's whatever. Elite Spellbinder, eh? Let's think. So I can Borrower the Spellbinder. Or rather, Petty Theft. I can Petty Theft the Spellbinder. I can't play Supreme Phantom, which is a little sad times. Oh, the fact that it's a flyer. Uh-oh. Or I can just, like, overwhelm them, right? Let's... Yeah, shut up, opponent. So, let's do... I'm gonna let it resolve, but I'm gonna put the trigger on the stack. That feels better. So now they make Supreme Phantom cost extra, which I think is actually fine. And I don't want to... Let's see, the problem with Lantern Control... Oh my god. And I will play this. Right? Let's think. Yeah, this seems fine. Because if I can... Because all I need to do is block the Skyclave the one time here. And this will give me access to Pump on here plus Memory Lapse. Yeah, that seems fine. So if they, like, play this Elite Spellbinder again, I'm just going to Memory Lapse it. And then that's just going to give us a W, so that's exciting. Yep, sweet. Go away. So let's see. Urza Saga, we'll talk about that in a minute, too. Alright, hooray, we did it. So I was playing 4... Old Growth Troll in 2021 Historic. Is there any good deck in Historic with that card? As a matter of fact, the mono green deck isn't bad. So, I don't have it built, but the deck doesn't... Oh god, I don't want to side any of these cards in, because they're not playing Luris. And Bind a Monster... Yeah, actually, Bind a Monster is probably better than, like, Memory Lapse, right? Let's see. Yeah, this way if we catch them with their pants down on like a 1/1 Scourge of the Skyclaves or something, we can just cast Bind a Monster at it. And that's probably fine. And it seems better than playing like Memory Lapse, so yeah, so I will look at the mono green deck that plays 4 copies of Old Growth Troll, and then you can see if you like that for yourself too, because I am aware that there is a deck like that out there. A friend of mine says that it'll bring back Lantern Control. I mean, I do think that Urza Saga has potential to be good. I don't know about that good, because like Lantern Control, even the Urza version, kind of sucks. The problem with Lantern Control is the same with Hallowed One. The graveyard is a resource to a greater extent in Magic. Yeah, I think the thing is, if you have a land that can tutor 80% of your deck, that's pretty gold. That has a lot of potential for sure. So, oh wait, they were on the play, they missed a land drop. Okay, that means that I actually want to make them use their mana. So I'm going to attack first then. And and I'm going to play the Supreme Phantom. The reason I want to play Supreme Phantom first is because I actually don't care if they Fatal Push this. I do care a lot about getting a Shacklegeist to stay on the table. So if they kept this hand with 1 land and only 1 Fatal Push, then I think I'm more likely to want them to Fatal Push this. And the reason I played Ascendant Spirit and then attacked and then played Supreme Phantom was just to see if they would Fatal Push this because they skipped the land. Obviously they didn't. They took the 1, but I think it was still, I don't know, okay to get our free points in. Okay. Oh, that's actually not bad for us. So here, I think we can... man. I do want to resolve the Shacklegeist. If they resolve a copy of Scourge of the Skyclaves here, I'm going to be really sad about missing this 3rd land drop. The rest, you got me. Shacklegeist is the card I cared about anyway. I am sad about this going away, but, like, not the saddest. Wow, okay. Well, I guess this is what we're doing today. Your next 95 spells are not happening. But I still need lands. If you pump, then that sucks. Because I can't really do anything about that. Yeah. Okay, that's a good start. So now they're going to get to play something big, which is pretty scary, to be honest. But I still want to just attack here. But attacking turns on Death Shadow if they take 1 point from, like, a land or something. Yeah, that's fine, because I don't think we can win the game otherwise at this point. So, if they just, like, put mana into this again, I am still pretty okay with that. Like, taking 6 and going to 8 is not exactly where I want to be. Okay. I was going to say, but I would much, much, much rather they do that and, like, skip a turn. You got me. you can have that opponent. Oh, that's great for us. Oh, that's actively good. So, yeah. So, let's see. For example, Grafdigger's Cage. Yeah, Grafdigger's Cage, I think, is going to end up being pretty good. And if they attack with this Spellbinder, I can block with a Spectral Sailor that they don't know I have. So that's potentially really good for us. So let's hope they attack. Well, we'll start using them. We got them. The opponent knows we got them. So I want to splash for either Decisive Denial or Scrap Heap Scrounger? Okay. Versus Control, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. That makes sense. Alright, so at least here we can either Counterspell or threaten to... or just threaten to, like, tap the Death Shadow, which is why I'm mostly okay with attacking here. If they're going to do this, I actually am pretty okay with that. So now we know that we can counter their next 2 cards, which should still be pretty helpful. So we can take the 3, go to 9. Obviously, we don't appreciate going to 9. But at least our next couple of cards are not resolving. So we know that's getting countered. And I'll first be playing in best of 1 so I don't get the sideboard goodies with the splash. Gotcha. And we will counter that one. So they know that we are kind of hoping on our top decks to be pretty good here. I do not want to do anything there, so let's just end the turn. So let's see. Actually, let's think about that. So if I tap both of these... No. Let's just eat the 3. I don't like eating the 3, but I think it's still better than just getting ourselves dunked on here. So we go to 6. Death Shadow. I will use the last one of these. They still have to pay 4. But yeah, I do agree with you, Saltar, that the problem with Lantern is mostly... Damn. Well, sucks to be us, I guess. Draw? Draw what? Oh, no, 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 no. I want to activate Faceless Haven. So I can block Deathless Shadow with it. This is why I didn't draw a card, because I want these Death Shadows the hell off the table. And now that I don't have a Faceless Haven, this turn I can start drawing. Oh, come on! So many threats. Well, that's not going to do us any good. Now I have to draw, and I don't even know what I can hope to draw anymore. Yeah, that's not going to do it. So, alright. So we are going to game 3. Wow. That was crazy, though. They just drew, like, 5 threats in a row. But on the play, I do want more of these effects. I guess Spell Pierce is probably worse than having more Lofties. Yeah, alright. How insane would Mox or Urza Saga be if Mox Opal wasn't banned? Facts. Like, if they did not ban Mox Opal, then like if they did not ban that's pretty bad. That's a lot better. Alright. Duress. Boo! Well, sucks to be us. No Curious Obsession shenanigans today. So we can threaten to counter something, which is kind of cool. Next turn, we can have Ascendant Spirit, and then we can hold up Lofty or pump Ascendant Spirit. So I guess it's not the worst, but this is still pretty bad as far as things go. So let's start here and at least try to get an offense going. Yeah, you got it. This is also unfortunate because now we don't have a flyer for Lofty Denial. So I honestly don't have much faith in us winning this game, which kind of sucks. Oy. Workshops might be able to jam them. I don't know if God. Either I denial this and actually get to use my denial, or I basically guarantee that I just do not get to do anything for the rest of this game if they kill it, because Lofty Denial is just like a really bad force spike with Ascendant Spirit. Yeah, sure. Also, imagine Legacy and Vintage. I mean, yeah, Strip Mine, but also Power 9. Like, I don't know. Urza Saga getting specifically a copy of that sounds honestly pretty bad. But what I do think is medium exciting, at least, is them being able to duress. Well, that's not going to do anything. So you can look at the Brazen Bower. Look at the cards. I think I'm okay with just hanging out here, because like the more turns they give me, the more reactive cards I will be able to eventually like play the game with, you know? So let's first just try this and see if it actually goes. Oh shit. Alright. Oh! Oh my god. Did we just win this game? Oh my god. We might be a lot better off than I thought. And I am going to do this because I want to keep their Scourge of the Skyclaves turned off. And now if they try to remove a spell on these, I've got Rattle Chains. So, like, this is pretty good. And they can just name Brazen Power. I'm actually okay with that. Urza Saga, auto sacks for no value under Blood Moon, right? I legit... Wait, that's just gonna die. Oh, they did it the wrong order. That sucks so bad. Yeah. Sorry, opponent. Alright, well. Yeah, that sucks. So here I'm just gonna attack for 4. 4, not 5. Let's think. Yeah, just 4. Because doing it like this, now I can block here, which is good, and I can play Brazen Bower and protect this Ascendant Spirit with Rattle Chains, so I am in relatively little, if any, actual danger. But I am going to do that just to keep my life total nice and high. The Spectral Sailor doesn't really matter. If they have a removal spell for Brazen Bower, then honestly, so be it. Scourge, I don't care about. I will lose 3 life for casting the Brazen Bower. Wow. Actually, what am I doing? I'm not going to let him draw Fatal Push. I'm just going to cast this and then pump. Yeah. Duh. We don't need to give them outs. We'll just attack for 8. All sagas enter with 0 counters. Yeah. So if they have a Blood Moon and then you play the Urza Saga thing, yeah, exactly that. Perfect. Good. Yeah, so if you have Blood Moon, then it just will enter the battlefield as a mountain with 0 chapter counters on it. And if, say, you have 2 chapter counters on it and then Blood Moon enters play, it'll keep those 2 chapter counters on it, but it will not get another chapter counter on the next draw step, so it won't sacrifice itself. It'll just be another mountain. So you don't get to search, but you will still, I guess, get your construct and all the other happy horse shit, depending on when Blood Moon comes into the table. Yeah, because like the fact that it is a saga, enchantment, all that good stuff, it doesn't mean anything if a Blood Moon comes onto the table. Hey, rare wild card and a Prismari command. Sweet, I actually needed Prismari commands. So that's pretty sweet. And I guess we'll start the Silver Quill train now. Yeah, finished almost all of these things, so that's kind of cool. So now what I want to do is, because we saw the Wonder, right? And this is clearly going to be something that, like, an actual dedicated pilot like Nikachu will have a better opinion or a more practiced grasp of it. But since Wonder is something that is potentially really cool for them, I think I kind of want to draw it up and see if it works. And also, a cool thing about Rashad and Deckport is that a deck like us can actually make pretty good use of it too. Like, we can almost play like Spirits and Taxes, if you will, where you just like get to just annoy the living piss out of your opponent by just doing all of the cool things, right? So let's do this. Modern Merfolks. Oh, I already have one? Sure. I don't know, let's mono blue Merfolk, because we want to have as many islands as possible, right? So let's look for just the card Wonder. Oops, if I could spell, that'd be great. I think the deck only wants like 2 of these though. Wonder. You get to play for these Benthic Biomancers, Aether Vials, 4 Aether Vials. Counters get removed before sacrificing. That's why I got confused. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, because all the enchantments still do their thing in the upkeep. Oh, I'm sorry, in their draw step. Then it makes sense that you would normally think that the Urza Saga would act like all the other sagas, but it doesn't act like it because it's a land. So when it's under Blood Moon, it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't get chapter counters. It doesn't sacrifice. It literally doesn't do shit except tap for red. So it makes sense that it's confusing, but at least in that case, you'll know that Blood Moon it basically just turns the whole card off. That includes the bad part. Kind of like how Broco doesn't care about anything. Your creature's an elk. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yep. If you Oko a Death Shadow, that shit is just a 3/3 no matter what else happens with your life total. You can go up to 19 life, and if your Death Shadow is an elk, it's a 3/3. So let's see. Lord of Atlantis. Can you tell I don't play Merfolk anymore because I keep trying to type in real words? Like I put in Lord of Atlantic. Also, it's kind of hard typing with a notepad right in front of me, so I'm just going to move the notepad because we're just going to do it all right here instead of like typing it out, right? So let's put in Master of the Pearl Tridents. Same with this cup here. Let's see. Silver Gill Adept. We want a bunch of these. And I'm going to leave out 3 spots that I'm going to call Rishadan Deckhand spots. We probably want to play some number of Dismembers because it's mono blue. 2's probably okay. If we're going to be playing mono blue, then these are ridiculously easy to cast. So that's also really good. I don't think you want to play Spreading Seas. Because you have Wonder to give them... I hate this. Now Urza Saga will be the next colorless land to play in Obosh Prowess to get Pyrite Spellbomb and Relic of Progenitus. I mean, yes and no. Like, I don't know. Like, it seems like a thing that they could definitely do and have access to. However, remember that the Obosh Prowess deck also plays Blood Moon as a full of, so that may or may not actually... Oh my god, are you kidding me? If we got a Silvergill Adept that had flying instead of Merfolk typing, yes. Snap yes. It could even be a 1/2. I don't care. Give me. That sounds great. Reachery is actually kind of a maybe. 2 Smuggler's Copters. Merfolk Trickster. Yeah, I think I like Reachery. Drowned Silvergiller is something along those lines, right? Like, the Merfolk's dead, so this is what we get. Yeah, I guess this deck would only want to play, like, 2 of the Rishadan Deckhands. Master of Waves, I don't know, man. Like, I don't really like it. Like, it seems... Like, the card's clearly powerful. The card is really powerful. I don't know that I want Master of Waves in the main deck. It's probably really good in the sideboard. I don't know. It just seems really, really ridiculously clunky. Like... Yeah, like something just like this, but with 2 copies of Rishadan Deckhand. Curse Catcher? Also meh. Like, Curse Catcher... Merfolk Trickster's great. Trickster's amazing. This card is actually nuts. Yeah, I agree with no Master of Waves and no Curse Catcher. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. Like, Curse Catcher is not the worst. But it is nowhere near Mausoleum Wanderer. Like, it doesn't have natural island walk like the 2 Rishadan Deckhands are going to have. It doesn't go with the game plan, really. Like, Benthic Myomancer happens to draw a card and be able to discard Wonder to give all your stuff flying. So that's actually, like, a really nice, cool bit of synergy that Merfolk has access to like this. You also get to just, like, play the 2 Smuggler's Copter on top of the 4 copies of Benthic Biomancer. That way you have, isn't Rishadan Deckhand good in multiples? The answer is yes, but this is not a Rishadan Deckhand deck. Like, if you're trying to play a deck that is focused around Rishadan Deckhand, I would actually not play it... This is going to sound really funny, but I think Rishadan Deckhand will not find its best home in Merfolk. Rishadan Deckhand is going to find its best home in a deck like Death and Taxes that wants to play other taxing effects. I'm guessing no Spreading Seas because Wonder, at least not in the main, correct. So, what? That's actually pretty funny. This is not on my playlist, but I think I'm adding this. Let's listen to the rest of this to see if I actually want this on the playlist. Alright, cool. I hope this ends up being dope. But yes, you're correct, Sultar. So no Spreading Seas in the main because we're playing Wonder here. If I wanted to play Spreading Seas in the board, I'd probably start with like... Oops. Maybe Merfolk plays Deckhand in the sideboard against Tron. Well, no, we're still going to play 2 of them in the main. So that's why this deck here is only 58 cards, because the other 2 spots are going to be Rishadan Deckhand. In this specific deck, the reason that we're wanting Rishadan Deckhand is actually not because of its ability. It's just an above average 1-drop that you can sometimes get the tapping lands upsides out of it, but it's a 1-drop that doesn't die to Lava Dart and can crew Smuggler's Copter, which is probably going to be the most important part of Deckhand. It can attack for, 2 when you get one of these Lords on the table, but you also just get to, like, play a bunch of your cool stuff, right? So the other 2 spots here are going to be Rishadan Deckhand spots, and I think I only want 3 of these in the board for this style of deck, we want some number of Force Negations, probably also 3. I'm going to start with 3 as the number here because you just get to play 4 counterspells in the main here. So that'll up it to 7 counterspells. Like, this actually seems kind of sweet, right? I don't want to play Relic of Progenitus as the Graveyard Hate card, so we're going to play Soul Guide Lantern. And I think Soul Guide Lantern is going to be the graveyard card of choice here because you want you don't want Relic of Progenitus to exile your own Wonder. So I think Soul Guide Lantern is probably going to be the play for these decks. Gonna love it way back when Dies to Doomblade was one of the most common discarded bad sayings. Now it's doesn't die to Lava Dart. I mean, unfortunately, doesn't die to Lava Dart's a very real thing, but like, I don't know, this feels like it probably, I don't want to say it has legs because we're playing Merfolk, but, this list probably feels like, I don't know, it has fins, I guess. But something like this is probably a pretty good starting point for this, because you still get to play just like a giant pile of creatures, right? You play 28 creatures, 6 ways to discard cards from your hand, i.e. discarding Wonder from your hand, or against decks like Tron that don't really care about their creatures, discarding useless Dismembers. And in the board, you have a lot of tools against a lot of things, right? Like, you have some Spreading Sea, some Force Negations. Maybe you want Master of Waves, maybe you don't because of how good Prowess is. If you do, then there's 2 Master of Waves here. There's also 4 Chalice of the Voids. You get to play 3 Soul Guide Lanterns, so there's your Graveyard Hate. And this deck will still absolutely kick the shit out of decks like Control. It'll beat up on the blue-red control decks and the Esper control decks, because you just have a giant pile of creatures, you have Cavern of Souls, you have access to your own counterspell, so if they try to resolve through the breach, you can counterspell it. Also, the 2 copies of Rishadan Deckhand are going to have a lot of play. Man, dies to boil. Yes, this deck does die to boil. I guess that's a thing. But, like... But even against, like, say, blue-red through the breach, just, like, resolving a Master of Waves is actually probably going to be really big against that deck, right? Because, like, also no Force. Force Negations are on the board here. There's 3. But, like, Force Negation in the main, it's certainly playable, but, I don't know, this deck may or may not want Counterspell in the main rather than Force in the main. But either way, we definitely want Force somewhere in the 70. Oh, my bad. Yeah. Yeah, there's 3 Force Negations right over here in the sideboard. My bad. So yeah, the blue cards that we can't really see are the 3 Spreading Seas, 3 Force Negations, and 2 Master of Waves. And Master of Waves, because you can, like, you know, with the Chalice of the Voids, slow them down against the Prowess decks. Master of Waves is probably pretty good against specifically the Prowess lists. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that's a good spot for a Wonder-based Merfolk list to start with. Because, like, they get to discard Wonder and have all of the cool flying benefits that we get to enjoy. They actually get to use Counterspell because it's easy for them to cast Counterspell. You get Benthic Biomancers and Smuggler's Copters to make sure that you're not just stuck with useless cards in your hand. For example, discarding Extra Dismember seems really good, but then you still get all of the Aether Vial stuff that we get. The downsides to playing something like this is that you don't get to play like the really broken cards like Spell Queller and Skyclave Apparition, but this still seems like it has a lot of play. So, I don't know, we'll obviously see what people who are actually playing Merfolk, like Nikachu and, I don't know, like the person from Tolarian Community College and like M. Hayashi really have to say about it. By the time the set comes out, like, I'm sure they will have plenty of opinions to give everybody, but I don't know, I like the deck building part of it. I like exploring all of these options that people will have because we've already seen some very cool new spoilers and stuff like that. So this has the potential to be really exciting. Like, you still get to play with your 12 lords, so your Regeries are also going to be really good too. One interaction that I think is going to be really cool for these folks is that if you get to, for example, have a Marrow Regery on the table, and you have a Rishadan deckhand and 3 mana, I could see the main deck Skyclave Apparition in his deck, though. Nikachu played 4. Facts. Like, if you're playing blue-white Merfolk, then Skyclave Apparition is clearly the nuts there. The reason we are starting this deck list off as mono blue is because specifically Wonder needs you to have an island in your graveyard to give all your creatures flying. And blue-white doesn't play mono islands. Like, they play Wanderwine Hub, they play Sea Chrome Coast, they play Cavern of Souls. So it's actually pretty likely that blue-white Merfolk does not have an island in play. However, with this list, it is almost impossible for you to not have an island in play. And that's why we're choosing for this style of list to be mono blue. And that's why we're choosing for this list to have 4 Benthic Biomancers instead of something that is, honestly a little better. Like, if I wanted to play a deck that was not trying to play Wonder, in this deck, instead, we would just be playing 4 of the Rishadan deckhands and 2 Curse Catchers so that we can play a deck that is less weak to Lava Dart, but more taxing with the Curse Catchers. And then you wouldn't play Wonder, you wouldn't play Smuggler's Copter, instead you'd play other cards. Well, a Boil will look that you don't have any islands in play. Yeah, but, like, who's playing Boil right now? Like, the Prowess decks don't play Boil. Through the Breach plays its own islands. And what are you playing against that wants Boil? Jund, if you can still find a Jund pilot playing Boil. Realistically, are you beating Jund anyway as Merfolk? Like, that seems really hard anyway. So, I'm not gonna, like, tell people to shift a whole deck around to play against one really bad matchup that doesn't even take up that much in a metagame. But if you wanted to play the card Wonder, I think this is probably the shell where you would try to play this card in that shell. If you are not trying to play Wonder, then yes, playing less actual islands is much better. Well, that's my point. To beat a Jund player, you gotta find the Jund player. Like, Jund is not that much in a metagame, so, like, who cares about the card Boil, really? Like, it just doesn't see that much play at all. If we were to have this talk, say, 6 months ago, then yeah, that's probably where you would definitely want to look for more people to be playing a card like Boil, because the card was more relevant then, for sure. Didn't Modern Horizons 1 have the green card in the Wonder series? Yeah. Wait. Modern Horizons 1? Brawn? Did Brawn get printed in Modern Horizons 1? I know what Brawn is. It gives trample. But, so, let's see here. There's a card, Brawn. No, it got printed in Ultimate Masters. It wasn't Modern Horizons. But that's not to say that Modern Horizons didn't get a card like that. Let's see. So let's look for cards that have in your graveyard. Set is Modern Horizons. So let's see if something like that is a thing. Looks like... Oh, mistake. Okay, never mind then. Okay. Still hyped for the Blue-White Horizon land. Oh my god, I wish. If we get a Blue-White Horizon Canopy land, I will be very excited about that. Okay, so Modern Horizons 1 gave us Genesis. Maybe that's the one you're thinking of? So yeah, if you're thinking of the card Genesis, then maybe sure. Genesis, the card I thought was in the cycle. Okay, sure. That makes sense. But yeah, alright, so we got to at least look at that and kind of see what's going on here. But I think where Rishadan Deckhand is going to find the prismatic ending seems too specific. It might be. It very well could be way too specific. But like, just the idea of playing a good removal spell is still pretty good because it doesn't do anything other than it does any non-land that you want though. So being able to pay 2 mana to get rid of a red and 6 still seems like something that I at least want to check out and see, because I'm already probably going to want to play Portable Hole. But if we can play Prismatic Ending instead of Portable Hole, especially in like Pioneer, or we could just play Prismatic Ending and Portable Hole if, say, Prowess gets really, really out of hand. So it could just very well be that we end up playing, like, I don't know, like 6 of that effect instead of just 4. Do you think Force Pitching Wonder is a good way to pitch extra wonders? For sure. So, like, if you're either playing a matchup where Wonder is irrelevant, or you already have a Wonder in the graveyard, then, yeah, exactly. Then Force to exile the second copy is obviously, like, a really strong play. Or you can just, if you already have a Wonder in the graveyard, then yeah, you can force the negation to pitch the other Wonder, and it still feels really good there because you already have what you needed out of the Wonder. So that's definitely a play that's on the table, and it'll feel really good when you pitch something that you just don't need because you have 2. So that'll feel really strong. I think what I want to also do here is maybe check out something like Blue-White Taxes, because I think this is probably where a card like Rishadan Deckhand is going to be really good. Like, this is going to be really good. I'm wondering if you can afford to play more main deck Wonders with main deck Force. Cute. Golgari Squirrels. I will leave that to y'all. I will not be trying Squirrels. Also, Collective Brutality pitching Wonder. Yeah, that's a really good line. Like, if you are playing, say, like a blue-black a blue-black Merfolk list. For example, M. Hayashi was playing blue-black Merfolk for a little while. And if you wanted to play a card like Collective Brutality, doing that and pitching Wonder feels great. So that is probably a play that they will have on the table. So let's see. We want Giver of Runes. And we're going to, again, leave out 4 spots in this deck that can be Rishadan Deckhand spots. Mire Triton can put Wonder in the graveyard. I mean, Mire Triton is a Merfolk. You're not wrong. It is unlikely that Mire Triton actually does the thing, but a Death Touch Merfolk, if you're already playing black, it might not be just the worst. I don't think it's good enough to see play in Modern, but it is something that you could consider one day, for sure. Grief is like $70. It must be something you're missing. No. You're not missing anything. Grief is crazy ridiculous good. Dies to Lava Dart? Nah. No, Grief is... Oh my god. Grief is just straight up broken. Unfortunately, there is nothing that you're missing with the card Grief. So, like... Grief will not die to Lava Dart. You're not wrong. Instead, it'll die to itself because you're probably evoking it. Here it is. So, this card is so crazy. Oh, Goatbots changed their thing around. Oh, that's really nice looking now. Cool. So that's really exciting. Grief won't dot 11 dart. Force of discard. Yeah, it's so good. So the card that this is based around is Unmask. Oh, I want to go to the website. Whatever, it's Amazon, but you get the point. So yeah, so look at a target player's hand, choose an odd land, they discard the card. So this is the card that Grief was made to emulate. And this card being a creature instead of God, this card's so good. Being a creature instead of a spell is actually super, super, super relevant. So even when you pay 4 mana for it, it's fine. But like with Grief, you have the ability to pitch a card you don't care about, evoke Grief, and with the evoke on the stack, you can ephemerate it, or even cast like Kaya's Ghost Form, or whatever thing you have that lets it come back. And at least it won't trigger prowess. It won't trigger prowess, you're not wrong. But this card is going to be so crazy good. So you just get to like take out their best card for free, and then you can still use your mana to Thoughtseize them. You can ephemerate this card if you want to. You can Kaya's Ghost Form this card if you want to, so that you can get multiple discards from them on turn 1. So if you're playing a combo deck and want to protect your combo deck, that's good because it's a creature. So this thing can proc Vengevines out of your yard. Thalia has no effect on this because, again, it's a creature. You can reanimate it for additional discards. Like, it's an elemental, which might also have play, because if you're just playing, like, I don't know, something like Tribal Elementals, then using this to pitch something, or just using this in a fair way, can still trigger things like Risen Reefs and whatnot. So, like, that's a real thing. Thunderkin Awakener can get Grief out of the graveyard every time. Like, there's a lot of play that you get because of this card. Spectre's Shriek was another card for being unmasked, but unmask can target yourself, and it's used in decks that draw 7, lose 7. Yeah, like this card is still fine in Reanimator though, because like say you have 2 Grizzlebrands in your hand, you have a Faithless Looting, you discard one of them, pitch the other one to Grief. Cool, life is easy. You get to reanimate your Grizzlebrand anyway. You get to just make sure the coast is clear against so much stuff. Spectre Shriek costs 1, not 0. Yeah, costing 0 is so big. As an Agonizing Remorse? Nah, Agonizing Remorse for modern legacy purposes, unfortunately, Agonizing Remorse is just, it's not a Magic card. Like, that card is, I understand why you would mention it, but it's not really part of the conversation. That reminds me, how much online are Veil of Summers? However much they are right now, they are probably not worth enough. $1.72 online? I might buy a few of those online. What is Spectre Shriek? Oh, no. This card's bad. Opponent reveals their hand. You can choose a non-land. If you do, they exile that card. But if you take a non-black card, you exile another card from your hand. No. No. That's not good. Yeah, Spectre Shriek's pretty terrible. But the fact that this card, Grief, costs 0 is the really, really huge part. So, for example, imagine that you're playing Vintage, where I think this card is going to be the most busted. And in your Vintage deck, you are playing Bazaar of Baghdad. And 2 for 1ing myself. Kinda. Like, listen to this, though. So, with Bazaar of Baghdad, you go ahead, you draw 2, you discard 3, right? So, with your Grief, you're going to get to draw cards, discard, say, Vengevine, Hogak. And then you, or rather, no, Vengevine, Basking Root Walla. We'll go even more broken. So we're going to discard Vengevine, Basking Root Walla. Basking Root Walla is going to go ahead and trigger for Madness because you discarded it. So now your Basking Root Walla is going to come into play as the first creature card of the turn. Then you get to play Grief as your second creature card. That's going to trigger the Vengevines, and it's going to be a thing that is... Yeah, Nikachu's grandpa is taking notes. Yo, facts. Nikachu's grandpa fucking loves Grief. Like, Nikachu's grandpa was like, Grief is exactly the kind of magic card that Nikachu's grandpa would have used to give people grief. Like, this card is so good. But, say you pitch the Basking Root Walla, you cast Grief. Grief is going to pitch another black card from your hand. I don't know. Say an extra copy of Hogak or something. Then you get to go ahead and reanimate your Vengevines out of your graveyard, so that not only have you stripped a card out of their hand, but you've also gone ahead and made it so that, like, they don't get to basically react to whatever you're doing, because you're just going to get your Vengevines on the table, you're casting 2 creature cards, and that's assuming that you didn't draw any hollow ones. If you drew any hollow ones, you still get to go ahead and do that. Grief plus Eldritch Evolution for prime time. That does not work, because Eldritch Evolution is a sorcery, so you don't have a way to put Grief's trigger on the stack and Eldritch Evolution. So, like, because of the evoke text, the Grief will get put in the graveyard before you will ever be able to cast Eldritch Evolution. So that part's not really a thing, but what you can do is use Grief with any sacrifice outlet that you find. Teferi, that's a lot of colors, but that's technically a play you have access to. Sure. If you want to play Teferi in your 95 color Primeval Titan Grief Eldritch Evolution deck, I guess. Know that I will not be trying this. Bad MTG combos, here we come. Yeah, that is not exactly on the list of things I plan on trying. But I suppose all of that is technically on the table. But I will definitely not be really trying any of that. That actually sounds kind of bad to me, but you know, what can you do? So let's go ahead here and... Oh, that's a whole subreddit called Bad MTG Combos. Nice. Nice. I am not a member of that subreddit. Yeah, I only use Reddit like for Magic stuff, and even then I still have only like, I think 3 that I'm a member of. I know I'm in the Spirits one. I'm in the Modern one. Oh, I'm technically in the Pioneer one, but I've never looked at it. And there's one for... Oh, I'm technically in the Spikes one, but I haven't looked at that. And there's technically one for just Magic TCG that I've also never looked at. No, I looked at that once. But I don't think I found anything interesting to me. Oh well. Not a big Reddit person. But yeah, so the fact that Grief can do so many things is a large part of why it is so expensive. So, like, say you're just playing regular old Boomer Jund, right? If you're playing Boomer Jund, you get to play, like, this card, and you can, for example, use Grief, discard a copy of Thoughtseize, and then still cast a Thoughtseize, or cast a Inquisition. So you're still going to get to discard multiple cards from their hand on turn 1. And you get to just, like, refill or take advantage of the low resource game with just, like, Lilianons and Bloodbraid Elves. And, like, Ren and 6 is still a good draw engine, because, like, if you want to play a deck like that, you can play multiple cycling lands plus Ren and 6. And that'll make it so that you're able to provide yourself with a more proactive game plan than your opponent, because you're discarding so many cards out of their hand, but you have slower ways to refill up your hand, and they don't. I don't think Jund wants the card disadvantage, do you? I don't know, is my final answer for that, because it is definitely card disadvantage, but a deck like Jund can recoup the card disadvantage, because Jund's power level is not really the fact that it gets card advantage, but it is effectively able to take care of the cards it cares about. For example, if you're playing Ren and 6 in your deck as a 4 of, which you probably will if you're playing a card like Grief, then you're able to recoup that card advantage by just making sure you're getting all your lands and stuff, including cycling lands. Also, you're able to dissect their hand of the things that you care about quickly enough to get your game plan on board. And that is one of Jund's biggest weaknesses, is that a lot of other decks are able to enact their game plan before Jund can take control of the game. And if you're doing something like using Grief and a Thoughtseize, then that disadvantage that Jund gets by being clunky and slow is a lot less relevant because, well, your opponent's game plan sucks too. For example, Broco plus Link Mycosynth Lattice lets you turn Oko into an elk. Ew. That sounds terrible. I mean, but yeah, so that's just one really quick application of Grief and why Grief is gonna be so good, because costing 0 is so relevant. This card is gonna end up being like accidentally super busted. Well, not accidentally, it's not even an accident. Everybody knows, it's not even a secret. This card just is gonna end up being super ultra busted, and the fact that it just doesn't cost anything other than exiling a card from your hand is gonna be really crazy good. Like, it's, I don't know that I can overstate how wild this card is gonna be. Yeah, this card's just, the hype is real, the hype is there, and everybody's talking about it. What archetypes could it go in? I think this card will best find its I think it'll find its best home in combo decks, especially Vintage Dredge loves this card. Like, Vintage Dredge just wants to like find out whoever made the card Grief and buy that person dinner for the entire rest of 2021. But it'll also find home in a lot of other archetypes too. So like Legacy Reanimator will definitely play this card. Legacy Storm might actually try to play this card. I don't know if they will, but the decks that want Duress might try to find room for 2 to 3 of these, because adding to your Storm count and costing 0 are both pretty big game. And pitching extra copies of Too Bad You Can't Cabal Therapy Grease before it sacks, I mean, that's true. You cannot do that unless, of course, you have a Teferi or something. But, like, that's okay too, though. Like, if you have Grief and, like, too much mana, you can always just, like, pitch, say, a second copy of Wishclaw Talisman because that's black. You can pitch extra Duresses if you're Leyline of Anticipation. Yuck. We will not be trying that. But, like, Storm, for example, can pitch extra ritual effects if they have too much mana. They can pitch Wishclaw Talismans if they have 2 of them. They can pitch Duresses and stuff. If your opponent only has, like, say, 1 card in hand, then you can pitch a Duress to Grief and maybe hit a creature out of her hand instead of hitting nothing, and save the mana for the rest of your Storm turn, because you usually need all of your mana for that. So there's a lot of application that this card has, and I think this card is going to be just as good as everybody thinks it is, because there's just a lot of applications for a free spell, especially a free spell that is really powerful and clears the way for you to get your BS going. There. So let's... You can pitch Progenitus with all the Force cards. That's not wrong. You can pitch Progenitus. Yeah, so Grief is going to be really busted. So what are we working on? Blue-white taxes, huh? Alright. You can violate Grief in the opponent's draw step. Technically true. I don't know how often you'll want to do that, just because, like, you know, so we want some Stoneforge Mystics. And if we're going to be playing Elite Spellbinders, we want Flicker Wisp, just like a giant pile of Flicker Wisps. Glasspool Mimics. 3 of these guys. We want some number of Path to Exiles. So let's see. In this style of deck, we probably just want like 23 lands or something. We want a relatively high land count so that we can make sure we are able to actually use our Rishadan deckhands and do something else. So this is probably... Violon 4 isn't that bad with Goblin Ringleader or Restoration Angel in your deck. Probably a real thing, yeah. Like, as much as I hate Mill, Fracture Sanity looks good. I mean, Fracture Sanity is going to be cool. But, like, Mill's fine. It's just another archetype. I don't know. It's definitely does something special, and I do sometimes like playing it. Because, you know, it's really good against Primeval Titans. It's really good against Tron. It's great against Tron. I don't know if Mill needs more cards. It probably doesn't. But it's also not, like, at the top of the metagame. So giving Mill, like, 1 card per set, still fine. Whatever. Trap is definitely the strongest card in the deck. Well, for sure, yeah. Trap costs 0. Like, costing 0 is hands down the best way to make a card busted. I think Archon might actually be better than Spellbinder. But I think I want like 1 or 2 more of these in the board. I don't know if BS or GAC.2. What is my take on Thrasta? Oh, the dinosaur? I actually don't know if this... God... So, I think this should be a Yorion deck. I don't think this should be 60 cards, because I'm having trouble fitting everything. Yeah, I think this is going to be better. I was trying to build it into only 60 cards, but I don't think that's right. Sword of Fire and Ice. In this deck we want... Yeah, I think Thrasta is going to be a card that gets a lot of hype talking about, but I don't think will actually matter. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I think I actually like this. So Thrasta in Elves looks possible, sure. Like they can play if they want to play like some Heritage Druid based deck where they're playing like Nettle Sentinels, Heritage Druids, Elvish Archdruids, and then like Realm Walkers too. Think everybody's too scarred from Hogak talking about big green tramples for almost 0. Yeah, like I don't know. I think Thrasta will actually be fine. Like I think it'll be one of those cards that people will at least try to play, but will overall not actually be good. So I think that's where Thrasta will live. Will be in the we tried it, but it's kind of irrelevant pile. But again, isn't it Rishadan deckhand good in multiples? I don't like making the deck weak to Lava Dart with Elite Spellbinder X4. In specifically Death and Taxes, the dies to removal argument is technically relevant, but not that much. Because remember all of the cards that Death and Taxes plays. So you get to play Giver of Runes, you get to play Charming Prince, because, you know, a lot of these cards are also going to be instant speed with your Aether Vials. Charming Prince can bounce the Spellbinder and save it. Giver of Runes can simply tap mana. Thalia and Unsettled Mariner will make it cost extra. Archon of Emeria will make it so that you can't both Lava Darts and do anything else. And then Flicker Wisp can also blink things in response to removal. So, like, Sword of Fire and Ice can just give it protection from red and you just don't care. And there's... Wow, we playing dirty. Yo, I think this will end up having a lot of legs when Rashad and Deckhand comes out. Like, I think this will be where a lot of decks will just be ultra annoyed by trying to play something against this, right? So, in this style of deck here, we also get to Archon of Emeria is destroyed. Yo, facts. Archon of Emeria is... This card is so freaking good. Like, I don't even understand why this card is as good as it is. I mean, I technically do, but, like, this card's so busted. Like, it just does everything. Like, if you play against Tron, you get to have this. They don't get to do their Tron things on turn 3 because you have an Archon of Emeria in play, and their Tron land comes into play. Why isn't it a Spirit? I know. That would be so good. That would be so good if that card was a Spirit. And then here we get to just, like, jam a bunch of blue and white lands, right? So, Hallowed Fountain, Seachrome Coasts. Here's a giant pile of Hallowed Fountains, 2, 3, 4 of those, and we still get to play all of the regular Death and Taxes stuff. This list, I think we're going to go back to playing Field of Ruin because we're playing the Leonin Arbiters. So same goes for Ghost Quarter, but because we're playing Yorion, we actually want more of those effects. So I think we're also going to play 2 copies of Tectonic Edge because Archon's a Magistrate. Yeah, Archon is a pretty absurd magic card, not gonna lie. Island, I think we only want, like, God, like 2 actual... No. What else is blue and white and comes into play untapped turn 1? Oh, duh. Hingegate Pathway is pretty good. So this is a deck that I think actually wants to play 4 of these because, like, on turn 1, we want to be able to guarantee that we're playing either a Deckhand or a Giver of Runes or an Aether Vial. But every turn that is not, like, one of those turn 1s there, I think we are okay playing these just, like, as planes, you know? A Dark Art Waste is so good. A Dark Art Waste, I can get behind it. I don't necessarily like this card, but I think it's better than the, what is it called? Like Nimbus Clouds or whatever the hell it's called? Nimbus Maze. Yeah, like this card is just not good. So I don't think we can get away with playing that. What do you think of Throsta slotting into some kind of prowess deck? Hard pass. Hard pass. Because realistically, for a prowess deck, why? The prowess decks don't need the help. And, like, say you do play 3 other spells and can then just play this big green beater here. Don't get me wrong, that is a powerful play, but how often are you playing 3 other spells and having double green left over after all of that? That's not happening a lot of the time into turn 4. But the current versions of prowess can already just kill you on turn 4. So, like, they don't gain anything by playing Throsta. If anything, you're losing more because you're making your deck clunkier to play a giant creature, but it's not better than Stormwing, and it's honestly not even better than Sprite Dragon if you ask me. Because by the time, like, Throsta can attack, realistically, probably turn 5, that's... Dare you to play Fort Town? Fuck no. 100% no. This deck will not feature Port Town. I think this deck probably wants like exactly 2 islands. 1, 2, and then we can still just put like a giant pile of 6 planes in here. Remembering we're still leaving out 4 spots because those are Rishadan deckhand spots. But where's the ones I like? 4, 5, 6, and 30 lands in a Yorion deck is, I think, about mathematically equivalent to about 23 lands in your regular deck, which is about where you would want to be with Death and Taxes if you're using like Ghost Quarters and Field of Ruins and stuff. So I think that's pretty good. Keep 4 spaces for the upcoming Horizon lands. I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath, but like, if they come, I will definitely find room for 4 of those for sure. But I'm not exactly holding my breath. But I think this is going to be probably the best style of home for a Rishadan deckhand. Glasspool Mimic is in a deck too. Yeah. But I don't count Glasspool Mimic as real lands, if you will. I don't know. They're just, it's a bad land. But honestly, when you play it as a land, I really count it as, I don't count it as a land spot, if you will. When I consider how many lands I want in my deck, I count 2 Glasspool Mimics as 1 land. Okay, sure, that's not unreasonable. I just count Glasspool Mimic as a bonus. I like to consider it as more of a shitty creature than as a shitty land, because I want my lands to always be good. But my creatures, they can sometimes be shitty and sometimes not. And if you happen to have a Glasspool Mimic hand that counts as a land, cool, you got a bonus. The biggest bonus here, of course, is that when you play Glasspool Mimic as a land, the coolest thing you can do with that is you play Flicker Wisp afterwards. You play Flicker Wisp and Flicker Wisp will blink out Glasspool Mimic. Glasspool Mimic can then come back as a creature, and it can clone Flicker Wisp, giving you another blink. I personally like my whole deck to be garbage. And that's why we play Tron. We do not play Tron here. No, we do not play Tron. I've had Glasspool Mimic come in as a copy and that creature gets killed in response. I mean, yes, that is definitely something that your opponents can do. Arayo nonsense. Arayo is sweet. The blink is also in the end step to get their lands. Yeah, like, Flicker Wisp is so good. Iganjo Castle. The only legendary creature we're playing is Thalia. And Thalia's got 1 toughness. I don't know that that's really worth, because, like, it doesn't do anything in our deck. Like, if we were playing creatures with more than 1 toughness, then sure. But honestly, I would rather just have more basics. Because we're playing Field of Ruin, we can Ghost Quarter ourselves sometimes. I'd rather just have more basics. This way we are a little less likely to get bodied by, oh god, what am I thinking? Blood Moon, in case it comes up. Because it can still come up. Oh my fucking god. How have none of you yelled at me yet? Oh my god. I am so bad. I'm taking out one of these, and I'm taking out all of this cuteness. I am super angry at literally every single person in this chat. Y'all let me forget Skyclave Apparition. Oh my god. How? The whole reason you want to play this deck. We want Ephemerate? Here? I don't know, man. We're playing Thalia's. Like, I don't really want to play Ephemerate in this deck. We do have Charming Princess. But I think Ephemerate's like a whole different deck. Classic Hate Bearers, just put a random Iganjo in it. It'll randomly save your Thalia from Lava Dart. I want Daddy Longlegs. Well, that's already here. Like, oops. We already have... Yeah. Be the change you want to see in the world. I don't want to see that change, though. I don't want to play Ephemerate. Ephemerate Arbiter in response to a fetch? Blech. Why are you even playing blue anymore? Because Rishadan Deckhand. Rishadan Deckhand is that good. Because the idea here is that you have a card like Rishadan Deckhand that can just be a Rishadan port. And when you do that with Leonin Arbiters and Unsettled Mariners and Thalias, would you play Prismatic End in this deck? You get to ignore the Thalia text and you won't ramp your opponent. Not in the main, but it might make its way to the sideboard. I think what is... Oh, no. Soul Herder? Guys, that's a different deck. I mean, Soul Herder is definitely a deck you can play, but that is not this deck. Soul Herder is a whole different deck. No, we are not jamming 45 different decks into one archetype. We can play a different deck if you want to play Soul Herder, but that's not this. What about the Race Trader Spirit? Oh, God, Strict Proctor? So, I think Strict Proctor is pretty good. I don't think you want Strict Proctor in a deck that's playing like Stoneforges and Spellbinders and Flicker Wisp and Skyclave. Like, this is not where you want Strict Proctor, but I can definitely see you... Yeah, Uncle Ruckus, for real. But I can definitely see like some number of Strict Proctor going into the sideboard for sure. Like, that could be a super real thing. Because when you want Strict Proctor, it's probably going to be to stop decks like, say, Primeval Titan lists, and other things where a lot of these other effects just like will not really have text. Like, if you're playing against Primeval Titan, then sure, Unsettled Mariner sucks, but then you could side in Strict Proctor and be pretty happy about it. You can also sideboard into more copies of Elite Spellbinder in those cases too. So I think that's where you would probably want those effects more. And that's fine. I play Strict Proctor in my Hate Bears and I boarded it against Spirits, which is a very real play. Like, Spirits does not like Strict Proctor, which is Uncle Ruckus ass card. But that's a super real application you can get out of it, though. Excuse me. But if you wanted to play Death and Taxes with Rishadan Deckhand, I think a shell like this is probably where you're going to get the best use out of Rishadan Deckhand, is going to be a deck like this. Now, if y'all are trying to play a Soul Herder deck, that's where you're doing something completely different altogether. Like, that's not the same deck at all. But I think that deck still has a lot of play, and if you're going to be playing Ephemerate, then you probably want to slide your Soul Herder deck over to being Esper, so that you can take advantage of all the Soul Herder shit, but you also get to take advantage of Grief. Because, like, Grief plus Ephemerate, and then you can Soul Herder that over and over if you want to keep your opponent's hand empty. Or you can, you know, switch over to doing your own cards, like the Watcher for Tomorrow, in case you want to draw a bunch of cards too. Both of those options will be available with a Soul Herder style deck. But that is a whole different deck. And, to be honest, not one that I want to play. Because, like, I don't know, when I'm playing Magic Online, I don't really want to race against the time clock. And Ephemerate definitely races against the time clock. But I think a deck like this could very well play Prismatic End in the sideboard. That could be really sweet. I think Path to Exile is still the one that you want to play in the main, because you get to play... Actually, you know what? I'm going to move these over to the sideboard. Because... I want to play two of these in the main deck. There. I think I like that a little more, because Aven Mind Center potentially turning off their fetch lands plays a little better with Rishadan Deckhand than the Spellbinders, but I do still want Spellbinder in the deck somewhere, because this card is still just going to annoy the piss out of big mana decks. So you're not going to like sideboard these in against like Prowess or anything, but this deck still has a lot of very real legs here. Yes, we like to do our own cards, but sadly most folk look strange at you for that. I mean, as long as y'all are happy, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, I think I like something like this if you're trying to play Rishadan Deckhand, because this is going to be the style of list that allows you to just like annoy your opponent to absolutely no end. No Maul of the Skyclaves. I don't know, like the card... I've never been a fan of that card. That doesn't mean the card isn't good, but I've never really been a fan. Like, yes, you can give your stuff flying and whatnot, but like, if I were going to do that, I guess I would take out one Unsettled Mariner and then put in Maul of the Skyclaves. Like, I don't know, the card is fine, but I don't think it is... It seems okay. I guess you could do that. Take out one of these unsettled so that you're only playing 6 of these effects. And then you can play a third equipment. I don't know that I really like that, but I guess it is a thing that you have access to doing. I dislike having only 2 targets for 4 Stoneforges. I mean, yes, but remember we're playing an 80-card deck, not a 60-card deck. So the likelihood of you drawing a third Stoneforge Mystic is pretty low. Spell Queller is the socialist Muslim Antichrist. Strict Proctor. Oh my god, Strict Proctor is so bad. Especially if you can flicker them, sure. I mean, I don't know. You can flicker Maul at a Skyclays and get like a free re-equip on stuff. Like, that seems fine. I don't know. I've never been impressed by the card, but I'm not going to say that it is bad. I simply haven't been impressed by it. But I don't know. I think this is probably where I would choose to live if I were going to try to play Rishadan Deckhand, because I think this is probably the worst Rishadan Deckhand, the best Rishadan Deckhand shell. So yeah, that's my input there. I think this is where I would choose to live if I were going to try to play that deck. But that's going to be, I guess, my input on where you can play that card, where like you get to play like this mono blue Merfolk list, and you get to play both Rishadan Deckhand as like a 2 of here, and you get to play Wonder, which is a pretty exciting new addition for any blue deck that has non-flying threats. You can make them all into flying threats. So I think I like that. Blue-white Taxes is probably going to be like the best home for Rishadan Deckhand. Well, I should probably, let's rename that. Properties. So something like this is probably going to be like the best home for that, because remember that this deck also gets to play this out of the board. How do you spell prelate? There we go. You get to just like play 4 of these in your sideboard against prowess, and that seems super, super strong. I am looking very much forward to probably trying to play some number of these in spirits, so that we can just like worry even less about the prowess decks than we are now. Because like it's going to be so hard for prowess to kill a Sanctum Prelate. And it's going to be the most annoying thing for them. And I'm looking really forward to like just kicking them right in the fucking teeth. Because they annoy me so much. Grief plus Village Rites, build a Thoughtseize. Hey, that plays. So many new spirits turn out to be human. Yeah, like, I mean, spirits and humans are easily the most annoying creatures that exist as far as having different hate bears. And I don't know. I don't mind combining them. So like we get to play a bunch of spirits in our slightly human cat, human Archon bird elemental deck with core clerics. Yeah, our creature types are all over the place. Still waiting for core lords. I mean, core tribal, they might end up actually getting 1 or 2 because they have a lot of different things. Like they have Giver of Runes, they have Skyclave Apparition, they have 95 different cards that all have text with equipment and stuff. So for all we know, core tribal could just be coming later on. Like we don't actually know that it's not a thing. So that could be pretty exciting as far as things are going there. I'm also going to take a quick look to see if any more spoilers came out. Nope. Okay, so we caught up with all the spoilers. So what I'm going to do here is actually going to Stoneforge Mystic in a tribal deck with playable lords. Maybe. Like you get to play core Artificer, core Spirit here, core Cleric there. So for all we know, that could very well be a thing. Like core Firewalker would then be instantly the best thing for them to have in their sideboard against red decks. Like that could very well be something that they want to play around with as well. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing if they are able to do something like that. And for now, we get to just be really excited about so many new options potentially coming for us in the form of all of these Modern Horizons 2 cards. So that's going to be the end of the stream today. So we got to play like, I get that they're not interested in discard, but it's free. Free is good. Do you think Dredge could sideboard Grief? Maybe. Because, like, once you put your Dredgers in your hand and you're already doing your graveyard thing, there's usually not much point to having Dredgers in your hand other than pitching them for Conflagrate. So that could very well be a thing. Yeah. Give them Mountain Walk because they're cores. I mean, a core that gives all of your, I don't know, say like a core like Goblin King, right? You could have like white for a core Lord or a core Warrior or whatever that gives all of your other cores +1s in Mountain Walk. That might happen. Like, you might have just basically Goblin King but for cores. Who knows? Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like, maybe they get more tribal shit, maybe they don't. But on Twitch, I'm gonna look for somebody to help raid y'all too with Blood Mum. I have no idea what you're referencing. Call to the Netherworld plus Grief? Wait, that doesn't do anything. Call to the Netherworld doesn't do anything because Madness doesn't work if you exile the card. Oh, Blood Moon. Okay, got it. Got it. I see what you're doing now. Yeah, Call to the Netherworld doesn't work because for Madness to trigger, you actually need to discard the card, not exile. Oh, discard for value? I mean, none of those things discard, though, so it doesn't really work. Like, I get where you're going with this, but that specifically is a bit of a non-bow. What you really want to do is find a deck that either makes the losing a card irrelevant, like a fast combo deck, or find a deck, for example, Dredge, that puts a lot of black cards into your hand that you otherwise don't care about because they all do the same thing. So, like, when you dredge a Golgari Thug into your hand, just show and tell your Grief so you don't need to ditch it. That sounds... Stalks. Yeah, for sure. But alright, so that's going to be the end of my day. Let's look for somebody for y'all to talk to. Is anybody I'm following live? Well, that's a Pokemon streamer. So I guess I'm going to have y'all talk to Fran today. He is playing... looks like Amulet Titan. Okay, cool. So I'm going to have y'all watch a bit of a deck that's a lot harder to play than ours. So I'm going to say good luck to everybody watching him. Hope y'all like Fran's stream. And not quite as sexy as show and telling an ornithopter. Ew. But alright, I will talk to y'all on Wednesday. Thanks everybody for stopping in.